to another edition of Ask Michael Eline. This is where I teach people the law in an unorthodox manner by using examples that we see in the news, case law briefs, but it's all about exposing the Leviathan and its instrumentalities and taking back your rights. Know the law and mean to keep it well. Come here to learn from an expert to know your right. Make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to save, because we never know when the thought police are going to take down this channel.
Hey guys, how's it going? I am attorney Michael Eline. How's it going? Got a lot of stuff to catch up on today. I apologize for not going live yesterday. Just give me 1 second. I'm texting somebody. I'm trying to get to come on the show today. Is a sort of a surprise guest. So, hey, what's going on, Bill? So as a lot of you guys probably know, I am a lawyer licensed in California and Texas. And because of an injury that I suffered when I was in the Marine Corps, over time now, I've got a degraded L4 and L5. So I wasn't able to go live yesterday. I was supposed to have Dick Heller on, the gun guy, you know, District of Columbia versus Heller. And I know he was bummed because he was out in Nevada and he was going to stay with me, but it just didn't work out. So I'm doing my best to sit up straight. I've got like a brace on. I don't know if any of you guys have ever had like sciatica, but you're talking to a guy who's been in judo for most of his life and Brazilian jiu-jitsu, boxing, Muay Thai. So, you know, for a man like me, it's pretty devastating. So I'm not going to say that I'm depressed or anything like that, because that would show weakness, but it's definitely not something that makes me happy. Thanks, Bill. I appreciate you coming on, man. So I'm just doing what I can. I've got like some lidocaine crap that I got from the VA. I'm putting it on my back. I'm just doing whatever I can to dull the nerve pain. I went to Powerhouse 2 days in a row, and all I was doing is just basically like stretching exercises. I have a new teeter hang-ups inbound. The other one that we bought used, unfortunately broke, dropped me on my head. So that was a problem. You buy used stuff, make sure you know what the hell you're buying, guys. I hope you guys like my setup. I've got them stacked. The guys on YouTube can see me pretty well, but the guys on X, Twitter, all you see is my mouth. So I apologize. That's why I've been doing them side by side. But I can't touch this thing that's right in front of me. Otherwise, you know, I'll lose my show, my channel, because, you know, Google, commies, right? YouTube. But just so you guys know, that's an FNP 45. It's stainless steel, 15 rounds of FU, and plus one in the hole. So pretty awesome. And that's you know, because, and why is that? Because when seconds count, the police are always 15 minutes away, right? And if they show up, they'll probably shoot you, right? That's the other problem. Yes, sir. That is a marble wall behind me, Steve. Good seeing you, Steve, by the way. Outstanding. Glad you made it, man. So that's right. Depression is weakness. Well, thanks, Dan Low-Fat. I like Dan Low-Fat. I love that. But you know what, Dan? Actually, fat is the best source of fuel. So don't listen to the CDC and the FDA. In my opinion, they're just a bunch of liars trying to, because they get paid off by, you know, the people selling seed oil and selling things they want to stick you with that they say is safe and effective. And then we find out that it's not. So I think that a high meat, like a carnivore diet, is probably the best way to go. Calling Wine 11. Yeah. That's right, Steve. Hey, Salt Shaker. Good seeing you. But the good news is it's motivated me. Having a back problem has motivated me to hit the gym 2 days in a row. But basically, look, I was able to do bench, but I'm doing it with my legs up, you know, like where you bring your legs up so I don't get the irregular arch or anything at all that could potentially compress my sciatic nerve. So instead of benching like 300, I'm benching like 225 for 6, but strict form and no irregular arch, right? Like just, you know, just pure upper body. But yeah, man, as we get old, it's what happens. And when you have kids and you have 3 people depending on you for everything, um, you gotta give up your vanity sometimes, gents. Yeah, it's been hard. But anyways, I'm wearing this really strong brace and it's kind of helping me out, hoping that it keeps me going. I did speak with Reluctant Prophet earlier, and hopefully we can get him to come on to help me narrate some of the stuff going on with Lane, because I would bet you $1 million he'll never come on my show. I get this distinct feeling he just doesn't like lawyers. I could be Jesus Christ if I have a law degree. I don't think he'll come on my show. And that's fine. I'm going to still support him financially in any other way that I can, because I'll be honest with you guys, I'm fearful for the guy, because I think that uh, he's like a living prophet, in my opinion. Him and Brett Pike are the only 2 people I know who are really, like, in my opinion, living prophets. But people like that are going to be targeted. And so the only way that I can think of to help him is to get the word out that regular guys like me who are very successful lawyers look up to the guy. I look up to him. I think that he's a really good guy, and I think that he's got a lot of great qualities. And I like the fact that he's an eccentric, and I like the fact that he doesn't grovel to anyone. That reminds me of me. That's my kind of guy. So yeah. So Dan Lowfat, let me just tell you, I uh, I got a JD after I was already a practicing lawyer, and that was because a good friend of mine who is a multi-billionaire lawyer who said that I reminded him me he I reminded him of him. Said, man, you got to get the law degree, because people in my side, like judges and stuff like that, won't take you seriously if you don't have a JD. And I was like, well, okay, but I don't want to go get an undergrad. I'm already a practicing attorney. I already have a bar card. So, anyways, ultimately, I got a Juris Doctorate after I was already a practicing attorney. And I think law school was pretty much a waste of time and probably would not have done it. That's the only, it's not a regret, but it's something I probably would not have done, would never do again. Out of all the things I've done in my life, when I say I don't have any regrets, I'm not saying that that's a regret, but to me, law school, I went to school at night and practiced law in the day. And I kind of feel like it was kind of a waste of time, to be honest, because none of the connections I made in law school made me any money. All my clients are like Marines and former airborne guys, 82nd Airborne, Rangers from the 75th, guys who hired me because they said, well, you're the only guy we could find online who was a Marine, and we didn't trust anyone else. And so anyways, that brings me to the first part of my show. It wasn't really brainwashing, Juror 13, because you can't brainwash somebody like me who hates communism. Remember, my dad was a Marine and he was in Vietnam and he hated commies. And his only regret is that my mom left him, and he couldn't. You know, I didn't have. You know what I mean? Like, anyways, he wanted me to go to Annapolis and all this stuff, but he had to work, and he was a workaholic because that's how he coped with the stress from Vietnam and all his brothers. Every couple of weeks finding out another one offed themselves, and it was really hard for him, and he went through a lot. So I've got nothing bad to say about him. But yeah, a lot of definitely I was a rebel. Anyways, my kids are homeschooled now, and I'm doing everything my dad would have done if he would have found a great woman. And I found a woman who's from El Salvador, who's a really good woman, and she understands that my job is to make sure that her and the children are protected and fed and taken care of, and she has freedom to do whatever she wants. And in return, she makes sure that the kids are taken care of and they're educated properly. And she loves America. She's super happy. I helped her get her citizenship. Because I'm a disabled Marine, she was able to get fast-tracked and become a citizen. So it worked out really good for me. But yeah, Juror 13. MI66, what I mean by prophet is somebody who is spiritually gifted, who has what I call gnosis, Gnosis. Google it sometime. hate saying Google it because I hate Google because they're commies, but look it up somehow. Maybe use Grok or like some other kind of AI that's non-censored. I know there's a non-censored AI type thing out there. But yeah, and I'm concerned about him because he's effective. And since he's not a member of the bar, he's going to be targeted by law enforcement and judges because they don't like it when people know the law and mean to keep it well and they're not a member of the bar. So you're right, Juror 13. We do need a new site. Well, yeah, Juror 13. I mean, all of our founding fathers were immigrants. Don't confuse illegal alien who comes here for free stuff with an immigrant. Come on, man. Immigrants are awesome, especially when they want to contribute. But the ones that Joe Biden has been importing here using nonprofits and giving them free everything, including welfare, cell phones, they're being brought up here for one thing, to make sure that the Democrat Party wins elections. They're using the illegal aliens, the 20 million that they flooded our country with your money, to use the census to redistrict all the red states blue because they know their ideas don't sell, right? I mean, you put a dude in charge of mental health, right? Who wears dresses, like 6'3", right? And then you have your friends in the news media make him Woman of the Year. I mean, people don't, especially Latinos, like my friends are all Mexicans pretty much, especially in the Marine Corps. It's pretty heavy Mexican. They don't support that dude. Like, give me a break, bro. I mean, Joe Biden's a freaking disgrace, man. What he did to our country is a disgrace. Give me a bunch of ones if you agree. And she is phenomenal, Juror 13. And I love your name, by the way. I get the connotation. That's awesome. Hold on. So guys, just keep in mind, like right now, as I'm sitting here, I'm on a scale of 1 to 10, my pain level is about a 15. But I feel really guilty about not going live yesterday. I was supposed to have Dick Heller on. So it kind of crushed me. And I know he was not happy because he was expecting to meet with me and my family. He really likes my wife and my kids. So guilt is another thing about leadership, guys, is when you're in a position of leadership and you fail, guilt is a natural consequence. So I'll have to deal with it. What's going on, Brent Shimko? What's going on, Selwyn? So what I'll do for right now, I'm trying to get Reluctant Prophet to come on to help me narrate some of the clips about Lane Myers and stuff. And well, I'll let him share with you what he's doing because I don't share things that people share with me unless they give me permission first. But I'm trying to get him to come on as a guest in a little bit. But in the meantime, let's look at this beautiful parade. I mean, if Sleepy Joe would have been on this thing, he would have probably walked into a wall or tripped on his shoe because his masters at the World Economic Forum, or actually in this case, Big Mike and Barry Soetoro, made sure that he got elected. But now I don't care what you think of Donald Trump or anything. I just want you to watch the military parade because it's super awesome. And I'm all about America first. And I love the history of our military, especially the Marine Corps. And I just want to share it with you because it means something to me. And it would have meant a lot to my dad for me to share this with you. So let's check it out. Motivate. Shit, I don't even know how to call that cadence. The fudge. Damn. It's like To the Rear March with a little bit of extra. guys are awesome, man. Getting motivated right now. Give me a bunch of ones if you're motivated. Motivates the shit out of me. Hey, Kinetic. What's going on, sir? Hope you like my motivational, patriotic moment. Getting motivated right now, guys. Arrgh. I love my country. Good seeing you, Kinetic. Sounded kind of weak. Sounds like Army to me. That was a Marine. You heard it from his gut. Yeah, it is Army. How did I know that? Weak.
Sir, this includes first time. Officers, ready? Throw! Ceremonial. At ease. Hold it. There you go. Attack. Ceremonial. At ease.
Thanks, Kinetic. Right on, Brett. Thanks for showing up, Brett. I appreciate it, man. It's really hard for me to go live today. I can barely stand up. But I can always stand at attention for the colors. Hey, Christopher. I have really bad sciatica. What's the matter with you? It's so bad that I couldn't go live yesterday. I'm dragging my left leg everywhere I go. It really hurts. Yeah, right on, Brett. Exactly. I see dudes in wheelchairs who stand for the colors. No excuse. Freaking motivation, man.
Honor, go. Attention.
Oh,
Ceremonial. At ease. Hold.
so notice the standard bearers are still standing at attention. So that's the ceremonials. It's an amazing tradition, guys. You should learn about it. It's freaking outstanding. Our country rocks, man. You should love your country. Shouldn't be flooding our country with illegal aliens. People that come here should learn about our traditions and history. So they're proud to be Americans. Give me a bunch of ones if you agree. Thanks, JM. I'm all about my country. I love America. Thank you guys for all the ones. You guys rock. Even the sailors look pretty squared away. Thanks, Selwyn. That's right. You need to learn about the history of this country before you just come here and get free shit. You need to respect America and our heritage. You don't just come here and just expect everything free. What a joke, man. Biden was a disgrace. Give me a bunch of ones if you think Joe Biden, the World Economic Forum, and the WHO are a disgrace. That they would just let people come across our borders and get everything for free and live off of us like parasites while we struggle and suffer. Thanks, Kyle. Good seeing you, sir. By the way, give me a bunch of ones for Kyle. He's an Army combat veteran. He he went to Ranger School. He's an officer. Stand tall for Kyle, man. He's a good buddy of mine. Legit dude. Yeah, I heard about that. Brett, the bounty. Yeah. Guys, I'm a libertarian, okay? I don't really support either party, but anything's better than seeing that bumbling idiot Joe Biden stumbling all over the place, pandering to our enemies. At least this freaking Trump dude understands what's up with our military. For reals, man. I don't care what all those leftist reporters said that he said. I'm looking at this right now and I'm going, fudge and A. This is legit. Restoring America, restoring our military, getting rid of all these morons with dresses, trying to push DEI on our troops, trying to turn our military into some kind of a freaking social experiment. Our war fighters need to be ready to take names, not run around with dresses, flapping their wrists, trying to convince people that diversity is what matters. F that, man. Say whatever you want, Peter. He actually went to a military academy while Sleepy Joe did everything he could to destroy our military, to destroy our readiness and flood it with a bunch of DEI morons, unqualified morons. Oh, I am. What's the matter, you? I'm talking about this right here. My Marines. These are the guys I care about. And I know that there's no place safer in the world than inside a battalion of Marines. And now they don't have some idiot with a dress leading them into battle. Some man wearing a dress. What a joke. Exactly, Mias. We'll see what's the matter, you, but I'll be prepared for that. I'm well armed with the law. I'm not going to throw out the baby with the bathwater. Peter, go back to Harvard or Berkeley or wherever you are. Go back to your safe space. You don't have any place here. Hey, Sharp. Henson on deck. Hey, Sharp, 1776. Here. Right on, Peter. Thank you for your service. What, did you work in the chow hall? Kitchen patrol? They do. They will. They'll get them, yes. They'll get them. Little without a cover, but I guess he can do that since he's in CIC. Now, if that was Sleepy Joe, he would have had to have a little rabbit with a stuffed costume directing into a wall somewhere. Thank God we don't have that idiot Joe Biden as president anymore. What a disgrace that guy was. What a freaking disgrace. Give me a bunch of ones if you think Joe Biden was a piece of garbage. Give an excrement. Hey! What's up, RP? Good seeing you, bro. I'll get you on the stage in a minute, bro. All right? I'll just put you in here. What the hell? There you are.
What's going on?
We're almost done with the parade, bro.
Nice.
What are the plays? Chingón. Presidente Guerra aquí. Work with me, brother. We're just getting through the last minutes of the parade.
What's going on, everybody?
All right, guys. So I think that's enough of the show of the El Presidente. So, guys, I've got Reluctant Prophet here with me. And
What's going on, everybody? Happy Sunday.
Yeah. So I was actually just sharing the parade until you could come on because I don't want to get it wrong, bro. But I've got the Hold on a minute. I've got just really quick. Stand by. Stand by, reluctant prophet. I can. So check it out. I've got the actual the pleading papers that we got from a mutual friend of ours.
Yeah.
I'm gonna blow them up. But I got the petition to amend Rule 122, and I've got the appendix to the petition to amend Rule 122. So I've got all that stuff. Oh, hold on, let me put you back up, bro. You're killing me right now, homie.
We got everybody driving down the road so they can see it. And so if you hear anybody honking, they're in support of the sign.
Hell yeah. Hey, really quick, brother. Let me just go get a refill really quick, and I'm gonna let you kind of take over the show. Is that cool?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, just start talking to people. Can you see the sidebar? Can you answer questions?
Let's see if there's I don't see the chat. Here we go, chat.
You got it?
I don't see it. Yeah.
You take over, homie. I'll be back in like 5 minutes. I just have to hobble down to the kitchen.
All right.
Can you see the chat though? Like, were you able to like get in contact? People ask freaking reluctant prophet questions.
Give me a second.
Yeah, stand by, guys.
It's telling me to sign in for my.
What? No, dude. It should all be through like StreamYard, man.
It is, but it wants me to sign into my StreamYards account.
Oh, got it. Okay, I'll wait. Hey, Kyle. So just so you know, RP, I've got like a diverse bunch of people. I know like half my audience hates Trump, and that wasn't the point of me doing that parade. It was that I'm just so proud to be an American. You know, like we have such an amazing country.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just so awesome. But you know, it's been taken over by Marxists and communists, in my opinion.
I know. You know what they're doing to make us all miserable?
What's that?
Having all their two-factor authentication bullshit.
That's a problem.
Your shit.
That's a problem, and and look, dude, Trump is also doing, you know, like wanting this digital ID. I got a problem with that.
Yeah,
so,
it's already takes me long enough. Now they did something with my email. Now it takes me like 10 minutes and 2 devices to sign into my freaking email. Let's see, google.com.
So Sandy Wilson says that Lane would want to come on my show, but look, even if he doesn't, Sandy, I'm going to keep supporting him because I think that he's a legit dude. Like that, you got to understand something about me. If someone doesn't like me or doesn't like me because I'm a lawyer, I don't give a shit, man. I'm still going to support them because I'm called by my creator to make sure that I leave this planet a better place for my kids, man, and your kids too. So it's all good.
Absolutely.
Doesn't matter to me.
I don't know what's going on here. It's not signing in on the other phone. Anyways, I can see the chat. I just can't see myself.
Yeah, there you are.
Yeah.
There you are. Okay, so let me get a refill, bro. I'm going to let you take over for like 5 minutes. Is that cool?
Yeah, and sorry about the wind.
Oh, it's all good, brother. All right, I got you. Go.
No, he didn't say that he didn't like him, Sandy. I think he's just a busy guy, for one. Yes, it was fuck Richmond sign. So for any of you that are new to what's going on, there's a developer that moved in next to me that didn't follow any of the rezoning conditions, started working early, making a bunch of noise, letting a bunch of trash fly around. Still 4 years later, these people are letting their trash fly around. I just talked to my neighbor last week, and he tried to call them about, see, they did phase 2. Phase 1, I was affected mostly in phase 1. Now my other neighbor's affected in phase 2. And all of the trash is blowing into his yard, and they're so sick of us calling about the trash, they don't even answer his calls anymore. They don't come over and pick up the trash. So I went down and talked to the Pima County officials, and they actually came out and made them pick up the trash and have somebody out there so they're not working early, which is a plus, but it's taken 4 years to get that taken care of. That's right. Thank you, Sandy. This is helping pay for the legal expenses. Yeah, it was Tesla back in the 80s. 5-man electric. So, yeah, it was. It was a good song. I would like to put it with that, but obviously you get copyright strikes. But yeah. How's everybody doing on this Sunday? Rick Jimco, how you doing, buddy? The hero of the hour. I love that you're in here, and thanks again for pointing out that petition that Matt Walker filled out for trying to take our recording rights away in the courtroom. And hopefully we can get enough people and support to get that shot down and make him look like an idiot.
So I'm back, bro. So
All right.
I didn't catch all the
I was just catching people up on the Richmond situation that's been going for 5 years, and then and then I saw Brent in the chat, and I wanted to thank him for finding that little gem about Matt Walker trying to steal our recording rights here in Tucson.
That's insane, man. So I found a bunch of stuff, Reluctant, like
Yeah,
about the
I'm doing good, Kinetic. Thank you. Sorry, I was asking people how they were doing. And
Oh no, just keep talking, bro. I'll
scroll
just
up.
listen. Go do your thing, brother, because who knows how long you'll be here.
I'm gonna sit down for a minute. Maybe it'll quiet down a little bit. I just got my my new neighbors all driving by and honking and waving.
This is classic. So, guys, ask any questions that you want to know from Reluctant. You know,
yeah, this
I
is
got
actually the whole state of Arizona Kinetic Customs. So this will go to the Supreme Court, and if it gets changed, it will be all of Arizona. Yeah, can you believe that they're trying something like that?
Me personally, yeah. I mean, when I first heard that Lane was recording in court, I was like, wait a minute, he's got to get permission from the presiding judge.
Yeah,
that's crazy. I didn't believe it. Well, I'll be honest, I didn't believe it. This guy's got to be a crackpot. What's he doing? But then, like, when I researched it, the dude was right, and that's why I never, ever, like, make blanket statements. I always want to make sure, like, somebody tell me. And it actually took, I think it was one of my subscribers. He told me about this 122H, I believe.
Yes.
And it's nowhere it was nowhere published on Google anywhere. It was like gone. It's like, what the fudge? So finally, one of my dudes sent me an actual copy of the statute, and I was flabbergasted. And I was like, wait a minute, you can audio record without permission from the presiding judge. So we'll lay a little foundation, Reluctant, for the audience. So the issue is that Lane Myers has been audio recording in court by just sending a notification to the presiding judge. Well, I will be recording.
I want to back up and give everybody the full picture.
Let's do it, bro. That's why you're here.
I don't know if you were listening on his live stream, but you know, all of this stuff is interconnected. My story is interconnected with Lane, with his wife working for the judge on my federal lawsuits. And then also Mark Brown, which is Tough Police Suck. He's been in this fight trying to be able to video record in the courtrooms for the past 5 years. He actually got an order that was written at the Pima County Superior Court giving him permission to record in the court foyers, the lobbies, anywhere outside of the courtroom. Well, the coincidental thing is Judge Gordon, who wrote that, his law clerk was actually Lane Myers' wife back when it was written. So Lane Myers' wife actually wrote that order that allowed Tucson Police Suck to videotape in the courts. You know, come 4 or 5 years later, we all meet up, we meet together, we find out all this information, everything's connecting together. And then it was actually Lane Myers who was the first one to point out that not only could we audio record, because we've known that for a while. I've done it in every one of my court cases before I met Lane, and so did the other guys. We would go in and then we would just inform the judge that we were audio recorded. The thing that Lane did that brought it to another level and now has Matt Walker and a lot of other people freaking out is that it went from us just audio recording and uploading it later to us now audio recording and broadcasting it live. So that's the big difference. The fight's been going on for a while. It's nice to have Lane helping out and pushing the boundaries even further than we knew that we could do. And like I said, it's just interesting that his wife actually wrote the order. Lane actually researched it back then, and when he came into all this and before he met us, he actually knew that he could audio broadcast and then started doing that. And the cosmic forces and YouTube just brought everybody together. So that's kind of where we're at right now.
So basically, what you're telling me is he's got a legit wife, and that's probably the reason for most of. Well, I'll just, from my perspective, the reason why I was able to achieve all the success that I have is because I have a legit wife, and it sounds like Lane has the same kind of thing going on. So that's cool. Give me a bunch of ones for Lane Meyer's wife, guys, because behind every great man is an equally great woman, and that's the way God intended it.
I've met her. She's a fantastic human being, for sure.
I believe it, dude. Everything you're telling me tells me that she's probably a lot like my wife,
Yeah.
Like, she's just so proud to be an American, and she's so proud that she married a guy who was a Marine. So that even makes me love her more, because she understands, like, the hell that I had to go through.
Yeah, it's nice. It's unfortunate that she lost her job over all of this, or presumably lost her job over all of this. But maybe that'll give her that little bit of fire to help us and get on our side and do a little bit more activism and fight back on these corrupt courts and the lack of transparency. I mean, Matt Walker literally wants us to go ahead and ask permission to audio record in the courtroom, and then once we get done with that permission and we take that audio recording home, we actually have to request another hearing or request from the judge now to be able to upload that to YouTube. It's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely. So sorry, we got people there in support over there.
That's awesome, dude. I'm super happy for you. I mean, I think a lot of people know what's going on in where you were at. It spreads like wildfire in a small town. Is that a fair statement?
Oh yeah, well yeah. Like last time I was out here, within 5 minutes, somebody sent me a text message saying, "Who's the dude on Mary Way with the big FU sign?" So it got around 5 minutes.
By the way, what kind of a rig is that you're sitting in?
It's a forklift.
Oh, okay.
It's all-terrain, rough terrain forklift.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Guys, give me a bunch of ones for Reluctant Prophet. This dude is relentless. He's like a pit bull. I love that shit.
Well, actually not. I've actually been pretty nice to them because I've had so much stuff going on. I haven't been able to get out and do as much pressing back against these people as I should be doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, copy that. Yeah.
To let them do this for 5 years and then me just finally getting with the county and saying, look, enough is enough. You guys either pull their permits or get them to follow the rules. And the day that I had court with Judge Ball and his BS lawsuit, we actually went over to the county and I talked to them about the noise and told them I'd be coming back in here with all these people in the camera if they don't do something.
Yeah.
And sure enough, they're doing something. And it shows that this activism using YouTube and our platforms makes a difference. It gives us a little bit more power. And not only that, all these great people in the chat who are willing to make phone calls, willing to send emails, willing to write a comment about Matt Walker's bullshit petition. I mean, every bit of what's going on with YouTube makes us be able to do things and make things happen that 10 years ago we would have had no chance at. So I appreciate everybody that's always helping out, making phone. if you don't think that your one phone call makes a difference, you're mistaken. Your one phone call does make a difference. And then collectively, everybody's phone call makes a huge difference. I got arrested in January 18th of 2022, and so many people called down there. They let me out of the jail before court. And before I got out of jail, they shut down their Facebook comment section, and they haven't turned it back on. And that's been 4 years now. So I want to thank everybody out there that watches these videos, because you guys actually have the power. It's not
So,
us.
RP, how much time do you have to chat with us? Because I was hoping you could sort of narrate a little bit of the history, the connection between Mr. Gold, you, Lane, and the signs, and now all of a sudden this motion to
Well,
basically eliminate free speech in the courthouse.
well, you can go ahead, and if you want to ask me some questions, sure. I don't know how much more I can, or know what you want. There's a lot going on, so
Copy that. All right. All right.
talking. But if you want to know some specifics, yeah,
All right. Okay. So without like getting too revealing, it seems like there's a relationship where you help one of your neighbors, and that led somehow to a relationship with Lane. And I don't know how that goes, but obviously I can't tell you everything that I know because I'm a lawyer, and everything that people tell me is confidential.
Yeah, sure. Well, not really like that. I mean, Mr. Gold technically isn't a neighbor. He lives on the other side of town. He lives in kind of a situation like I do, where we have acre properties and we're more homestead, rural type of a situation. Well, I've been having the TPD helicopter circling over my house on a regular basis. Anytime I go out cop watching, anytime I would go down and make a public records request, put somebody on YouTube, the next thing I knew, the TPD helicopter would be coming over to my house 500 feet above, doing circles over. And when I went down there to ask them about it, they said that I wasn't in their jurisdiction and there were no calls out there, so there was no record of them circling my house. Well, Mr. Gold, who had realized that he was being harassed by the Pima County Sheriff's Department as well, and his neighbors, and that they were using aerial surveillance. And apparently he was doing some Googling or searching on YouTube, and my video with the TPD helicopter came up. So he reached out to me, and it took a while, but we met up at a little bar in town. It was the strangest situation I've ever been in. It felt like we were being watched. And when we walked outside, I mean, I literally have this on video and the flight tracker for this. As we were standing outside finishing our conversation, here comes the TPD helicopter. I turn to start filming it. It makes a U-turn, takes a hard right, and then actually flies back, but uses the building as cover. And it flies back directly over top of us and flies out to Mr. Gold's house. Could it have been a coincidence? Yes. But the fact that he called me about that situation and the TPD helicopter flew over it scared him.
But hold on a minute. Hold on. Didn't you do didn't you find additional information that proves that you were being spied on?
Me personally?
Well, didn't someone find official public?
That was after we met, and I obviously I'm skeptical because they keep telling me that there's no service call, but I mean, the problem is you're putting yourself out there, and people are like, oh yeah, right, the airplanes, helicopters, they fly over all the time, but literally, actually, I'm going to do a video because after the city hall meeting that James Freeman, Lane Myers, Pigs Under Pressure, Tech Police Suck all went to last week. 24 hours later, the TPD helicopter was about 500 feet off the ground, circling my house again. So I'm going to put out a video for Regina Romero, the mayor of Tucson, and telling her to keep her gang stalking domestic terrorist away from me. But yeah, so it's hard to tell people, about, you think that helicopters and stuff are circling over top of you because people think you're crazy, to be honest. So we sat down, had
That's
that
true.
meeting.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we had that meeting. It was a weird situation with the helicopter, and obviously we just met each other, so we're both like, see, it's kind of weird. And then I started looking into his case, and I found a police report on one of the days that he suspected that the airplane was flying overhead. He contacted his lawyer. His lawyer said, no, the sheriff's department wouldn't do that unless it was some serious crime. You're mistaken. Then when he goes into court, the quote unquote alleged victim's lawyer put in a response to his motion that he was having paranoid ideations that airplanes were following him. Well, that same time when he thought that they were following him, I found one of the, I think there's like 70 police reports for Mr. Gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found one of the police reports that actually said we called Survey 1 over. Survey 1 has footage and it was logged into the computer. Literally one, like a needle in the haystack. I've never found them ever mention anything about me, about an airplane or a helicopter in any police report. In all 60 reports of Mr. Gold, there's actually 2 mentions. One is Air 1, that's the TPD helicopter. And that was the time when they said that there was somebody screaming at Mr. Gold's house, and the sheriff's department jumped over his fence, raided his yard, and while he was standing in his living room in his boxers, the sheriff was outside with a gun. So that was one of the times Mr. Gold freaked out. And it was very difficult to get the sheriff's department to admit and give me that airplane footage. It took me, like I said, 6 months. I finally got the footage, and they had it 100% blurred out where you couldn't see anything. So I went back in there and asked them to give me the full unredacted footage. There's no reason they should be blurring this out. And then they gave me the footage.
So you didn't have to file a motion to compel. They gave it to you.
They did. Yeah. Well, I mean, it wasn't through a court case. And to be honest with you, Mr. Gold hasn't been able to get anything through the prosecution. Obviously, he doesn't have the same legal prowess Lane does. And the lawyers that he spent tons of money on weren't acting in his best interest. So sorry about the pain you're in there, buddy.
Dude, thank you, bro. Is it your opinion that there's probably more stuff, and they probably, because they hired some low-level dumbass to redact things, that's the only reason you even have that one piece of evidence that got you on this hunt?
I almost suspect that there was somebody trying to make the sheriff look bad and gave me the footage, because I've never seen anybody else on YouTube, anywhere else, get 100% clear military grade footage from the helicopters. So yeah, it was strange to me that they actually released it.
So it's your opinion that there might be some good people inside?
Yeah, of course. You always have to have that hope. I mean, if you lose hope if you thought everybody was a horrible human being,
I'm with you, bro. I think you're the most reasonable patriot that I've met on YouTube so far. So that's why I just got verification of that. So
well, I just act like a reasonable person. You got to see me when I'm over here yelling at the contractors.
I think that it's reasonable for someone to yell at contractors who keep violating the local municipal code.
I would agree, especially when you call the sheriff's department 5 times and then they come and arrest you.
Yeah.
I'm
with you, bro. Give me a bunch of ones for Reluctant Prophet for being a reasonable person.
Yeah. So the other thing is too, is now they're playing, that's why I think maybe there's something to do with the election, because they let that footage out right before the election. And now Mr. Gold has several other pieces of evidence that show that they flew over him and his house on several other days during the daytime. That's what we want to get. We want to get the daytime footage. Let's see how good their cameras are spying us on the daytime. Well, they've said that there's no more footage for Mr. Gold. They're absolutely lying. We actually found another police report just the other day that they didn't include, where they accused Mr. Gold of running into and knocking over a telephone pole. His neighbors called in and said that he was literally, as a fact, said he drove out and smashed into the telephone pole. They called the sheriff's department. Mr. Gold just found this. There was no police report. They called him on the phone that day and said that was accusing him of running into the pole, but there was no police report that I ever got. Well, literally, Mr. Gold just went on the Broadcastify. And for anybody that's interested or thinks that they have an airplane following them, you can go back in Broadcastify and put in the time frame for your area and listen to all the audio from your police dispatch.
It's called Broadcastify. Is that .com, .org, .net?
Broadcastify.com. If you just Google it, it'll come up. It'll ask you what state and then county, and it'll give you a list of your municipalities. And you can listen to them live, or you can go back a year and a half and get the audio. For the audio, a year and a half, I think you may have to have a subscription. But Mr. Gold, we were actually just talking about it because I asked him about it. And he said, you know what? We didn't get anything on it. Let me go back and Broadcastify, because I was talking to him about all the times the airplane flew over. It would be very strange that the airplane did not fly over the night that somebody smashed into and knocked down a telephone pole.
Right, right.
He said, yeah, well, he didn't find anything when he looked back until he went to Broadcastify last week, and he was literally 3 days before it was going to get deleted. And he found a gold mine of audio that we haven't put out yet. He just uploaded it for me, that his neighbor is calling, and they have the dispatch, which you very rarely hear, says Mr. Gold's neighbor so-and-so said they saw him at his driveway and drive down and smash into the telephone pole. They're saying this over police dispatch.
And you never got those records.
And we never got those records or a police report for that day.
What about his vehicle? I mean, there should be corroborating evidence to show it was his vehicle.
Well, that's the thing. That's probably why they didn't put it out. Isn't it pretty crazy when the sheriff is on the police dispatch saying that Mr. Gold doesn't own a white Ford Explorer, he has a Prius?
Wait.
I'm not making this shit up. This is...
Wait, hold on, bro. I got to clarify something for me and the audience. So the actual elected sheriff, not a deputy. It was the actual sheriff. I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
No. When I'm talking about the sheriff, I'm talking about their employee.
Deputy.
Yeah.
No, copy. That's cool, bro. I just want to, because like for me as a lawyer, like
Sure.
I know that most people think sheriff means a deputy.
Yeah.
That's why I asked. It's no insult at all. It's just that as a lawyer,
I understand.
words are at a higher level from my brain. You know, it's like someone says sheriff, that means the actual sheriff. That's
Sure.
cool. So everybody in the sidebar understand that sheriff employees, deputies, are saying they already know this mother effer doesn't even drive that kind of a car. That's how much they know about Mr. Gold. That already tells me, why is this guy a person of interest at this level when Mr. Gold is not a threat to any? Look, I have it on good authority that Mr. Gold is one of the coolest, non-harmful, non-threatening people you'll ever meet in your life. Is that a fair statement to you, Reluctant Prophet?
Yes. Anybody that meets this guy would have no way of thinking that he had spent the last year and a half terrorizing his neighbors on.
Is it also a fair statement that he loves animals and that like he rescues animals? Is that?
Oh yeah, he's open with it now, and you know he was trying to keep a secret because again, there's a big stigma to you going out there and saying that there's planes following you. You know what I mean? He was concerned about losing some of his charity, but I think he's been vindicated. He obviously didn't do anything more. That there was a lot of people that I asked on YouTube to help me get his
Yeah.
story out. A lot of big YouTubers told me that they weren't interested because they thought that there was something else going on, and wouldn't or weren't willing to put themselves out there. You know, I'm not going to name any names, but they know who they are. They know they weren't willing to help. And then there was another YouTuber out there who made probably about $10,000 off of the video that I spent 6 months trying to get. And when Mr. Gold got more charges, I sent him a message and he said, "We need to help this guy." Well, guess what? I have not heard from that guy since. And that was in September or October of last year. That guy is a grifter and he's a piece of trash. I'm pretty upset at who this person is. I'm not going to mention him, but yeah, there's a lot of people out there that weren't willing to help Mr. Gold, and basically turn their backs to getting this guy some help. I put myself at risk.
Yep.
I spent a lot of time trying to help this guy and get him vindicated, and all 12 of his charges were dropped, dismissed.
Right on, bro.
He's hopefully
Good job.
moving on with his life, and yeah, he runs the world's largest dog charity. He helps people connect so they can adopt animals. He also takes in elderly dogs, and he takes care of them for the rest of their life. And he's a great human being.
Are you allowed to share his the information about the charity, or?
I don't want it. We can put a post out. I don't know.
Okay.
I haven't personally asked him. So
Okay, don't do it. Don't do it. I just was hoping that somebody. Sure. So guys, in the future, follow Reluctant Prophet's channel, and I'll have you give my audience your contact info, and hopefully he can get permission to share the charity's link. I would really like it if you guys would share would donate money to Mr. Gold's charity if we have permission to share the information.
Sure, I'm going to go ahead and work on that video of that telephone pole, and I'll ask him, and we can put the link to his charity if he's willing in that video, so that everybody.
That would be awesome.
Yeah,
that would be super awesome. So ultimately, guys, I just want people in the sidebar. By the way, I hate to ask you, Reluctant Prophet, but it looks like a bunch of new people came into the chat since you first showed your sign.
On my phone, I can't see the chat right now, so if you tell me if there's any questions anybody's got.
So we have Sir Richard the Lionheart from Scotland. It's one of my buddies from Scotland. And I just wanted you to show the sign. You already read my mind. See, that's what I like about you, bro, is that your shit sparks at a higher level. So check it out, guys. He's got a forklift out there. And he's pissed off because the municipal corporation is basically allowing these contractors to come in and destroy his sanctity. He had this beautiful home, totally far away from everybody else, and basically they're ignoring all the municipal codes that allow him sanctity to sleep in the morning, and they're showing up at all hours of the day, causing trouble, allowing trash and diesel fuel smoke and those porta potty shitters to come and suck poop and spread that poop smell all over with the chemical smell of poop. If any of you guys have ever worked construction, I know I'm probably the only white boy that actually is a construction worker on this channel, but I grew up in the construction business, guys. I know exactly what he's going through, and I can't even imagine that the local, the mayor and the city council would ever allow this. What a disgrace.
Well, and the crazy thing is them waking me up early. Yeah, it's a big deal, but to be honest with you, it's not the biggest deal. It's the only thing that I can call the sheriff about. I called the sheriff about the trash, and first of all, they lied and said there was no trash and did nothing about it. The other issues are the flooding. The flooding is the biggest issue. And I went down to the county, and they quickly turned around anything that said they were in violation and swept it under the rug and told me that I couldn't go after them until the development was 100% complete. Well, we're 5 years in now, and I still can't get any recourse for that. So and just so you know, the biggest reason why I built the sign was because the biggest and most egregious thing they were going to do to me is they were going to go ahead and build 16 two-story homes, looking right over my front yard. So every time I walked on my front porch after moving out here to be out of town 28 years ago, and then promising us, you know, you can't ever go with their promises, but promising us that this area would never be developed, to now walking out on my front porch and having 16 two-story homes when we went to the rezoning meeting and they agreed not to do that. So I built the sign and said, look, if I'm going to have to look at two-story homes, you're going to have to look at this sign forever. And the COO of Richmond flew in from Colorado and met me at the end of my driveway, and I made them a deal. As a man, I told them that I would take the sign down if they made those homes single story and paid me $2,500 for the sign that I did. Well, they did the single story provision, but they basically told me to go get ripped and didn't even mention the $2,500. So 3 years later, that sign's been sitting in storage over on the side of my house. And since they decided to start waking me up early again and not pay for the sign, we're back out here. And we'll be back out here every weekend, as long as it takes.
Hey, just really quick, I wanted to just show you something. I don't know what name means, but Sandy Wilson says it's your work that makes you what you really are. And I agree with her. I think that it's what you do that defines you, not what you say. So I appreciate
100%.
I appreciate what you're doing, bro. Like this, you guys blow
I
me away.
shook their hand. I shook their hand that day and drove in my driveway and took the sign down and didn't put it back up. So I honored my word. And they're a horrible company who just got bought out by a Japanese company. So you're now your largest home builder in America, or one of the largest home builders in America, is a Japanese home building company.
Sounds kind of like Harley Davidson. Remember, they got bought out by a Japanese company, and then all these patriots. Yeah, all these patriots took back Harley, and then now Harley's controlled by all these commie pieces of garbage that are promoting all this DEI woke bullshit. So amazing how that works, right? Yeah, like all my biker buddies are dumping their Harleys and getting Indians now.
Yeah, I like those. I don't want to talk about any bike. Anybody wants to ride a bike, fine. But you know, you get these weekend princesses with their tassels on their leather jackets that come out, you know, the corporate office and want to go for a Harley ride on the weekend. And I've met and known a few of those people.
Right on, dude. So I have a bunch of friends who are bikers, and I have a military veterans nonprofit in honor of my father who died from Agent Orange in Vietnam. And bikers are the only people who showed up for my family when the government shut down all the funerals, the graveyards.
Yeah.
Because my dad's entitled to be buried at the Riverside Veterans Memorial, but thanks to Gavin Newsom, that didn't happen because they wouldn't give him a proper burial with a bugler and a rifle salute. Yeah, so I got some bikers from the Leathernecks Motorcycle Club, the Mad Dog chapter, and a couple other chapters, which I will make sure they all get their full creds. But I'm kind of wiped out right now, bro, from my back.
Sure.
But I'll make sure they all get their creds.
I tell you what, if you could make it to Arizona, my back was so screwed up a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
I know everybody says they got a guy, but I really got a guy.
Do you have a guy? Because, dude, like my wife is worried because, like, I'm the one, dude. Like that's all they got. Like I'm terrified because my IRA isn't viable till I'm like 59 or some shit. So I'm terrified. I don't know what to do.
I'll tell you what, this guy's a miracle worker. I've blown out my back. I had back surgery. 65% of my vertebrae is missing. And that happened when I was 25. And I was in bad shape a couple of months ago. I went to him twice, and I felt like $1 million. And he's not even a chiropractor. He's a muscle manipulation expert.
I'm down, dude. Like I just don't want surgery because my background, personal injury, right? Like I've had clients who got pro disc replacement and now they're like paraplegics.
Yeah.
So
Well,
being in this business, like that's
I'll
why I'm
tell you
so
what.
bummed, dude.
I am one of the people. I am one of the rarities because I will tell you that at 25 years old, Dr. Schroeder, who did my back surgery, saved my life. It was the best thing I've ever done. Was it perfect? No, but I tell you what, man, it's been what, I'm 50 years old. So they told me that I might have to get something else done in 10 or 15 years. We're, knock on wood, 30 years later, and his back surgery is still holding up. And like I said, I believe in it. I do. I know I don't know about the disc replacement stuff,
Oh,
but
it's horrible, horrible.
is it?
Dude, don't. I mean, I don't know what the answer is, bro. This is a new thing for me. You're talking to a guy who's been doing martial arts all of his life, Marine. Like the only chance I have is if I can draw. Before
Well,
I,
I'm going to be
at least
honest
I
with
knew.
you. I'm
Like
going to
now I
be
have
honest.
to draw down. I can't throw anymore.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I did watch a little bit of your exercise stuff, and
Yeah.
some of that stuff that I was watching said to myself, there ain't no fucking way at my age I would be doing that because I would hurt my back.
Yeah.
So
My
I'm
sensei
I'm
told me the same thing.
I'm 51 years old now, and I'm on my bicycle, push-ups, and curls, and I got a total gym. So
Right on.
that as much as you want to be in shape, you can't hurt yourself while you're doing it.
You're right, dude. And my wife's telling me the same thing. It's kind of a little bit of an ego thing. I want to be able to know that I can take on a larger opponent. And now my only chance is a 45 because I just can't, like, just getting out of this chair right now to make a head call.
Yeah,
My pain level is like a 15 on a 1 to 10.
that
I
that's
wasn't
where
even,
I was, that's where I was at the other day. You want to meet my neighbor?
sure.
He's gonna come out here.
Is
His,
he?
his name's Joe. He's a great guy.
Right on.
All right.
Hell yeah, man. I'm going to put you on solo so we can get the big screen.
All right. What's happening, Joe? You gonna get a picture or what? Oh, all right. You want to say hi to everybody? Say hi to everybody.
Hi everybody.
This is Joe. This is my neighbor.
Fuck Richmond.
You can't find the camera?
I cannot see.
It's hard dark out here, huh? Let's see. I'll help you find the camera there. Camera. Nope. Nope. There you go. We got somebody else in behind us. You're in the way there. What's happening? You want to know why? 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 Because Richmond is a horrible company and they treat their neighbors like crap.
Okay. They're developing right now.
They're actually the next entrance that you see down here is Richmond.
Yeah.
And they flooded me out. And when I complained about the flooding, they actually took a sledgehammer and knocked holes in the wall to let more water flood into my yard.
Okay.
They've been waking me up for 4 years. They were going to build 2-story homes when they promised single-story homes. And then I told them they could buy the sign, and they said okay, and they never paid me for it. So yeah, so now they've been back out here. More trash is blowing. My neighbor's been complaining about the trash, and they told them basically we're not going to do anything about it.
So they're a housing development company that's just not doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Correct. And they actually were sold out to a Japanese company. So now a Japanese company is one of the largest home builders in America.
Really?
So yeah, pretty interesting.
Have you talked to legislators? Have you talked to
I did well.
supervisors?
I actually went down to the board, the county administrator, and spoke to them, and they didn't want to do anything for me. So I went down there with a bunch more people in the video camera, and then they finally did something a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, it makes it, putting the pressure on them is the only thing that seems to work these days. So I.
Media outlets work
It does. They don't seem to like me though. That's a little bit more
No.
in your face than what they're used
I
to. You know what I
love
mean?
the robotic.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Right? But if you're having issues and not getting results and nothing's happening, you finally fix this, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean,
I mean, most news outlets would understand that as well. No, I figured I might as well stop by. I figured it was a housing development of some sort
Yeah.
going on and something screwing around.
yeah. Yeah, I've lived out here for 28 years, and they're just a complete lack of respect for. This is my other neighbor here, and you know, the trash and everything's just ridiculous.
What did you think about the Vail Incorporation?
Oh, I'm not for it. You know what I mean? They want to move all these new houses out here, and then hopefully everybody can vote to incorporate, and then we'll go ahead and pay more taxes, and then they'll have their own police department, and you know.
Well, there's a lot of things because I'm actually elected official in New Mexico.
Yeah.
And in our community, we contract all that to the county, right?
Yeah.
And then you just
Well, they do that now.
Well, exactly. Yeah. Well, no, we are county, so it has to be county right now, right? Yeah. But a lot of things on self-governance works a lot better. Things like this, right?
Yeah.
You have your own zoning commission in Vail that
Well,
you're able to pitch to versus having to pitch to Pima County.
Well, see, that's the thing. Yeah, but you're right, but it's the same bureaucracy. Yeah. I complain. Well, no, but they're the same. They'll bring their people in, is the way it usually ends up working. And then
people like you can get elected. People like me.
People like me don't want anything to do with the government. You know what I mean? And that's the problem. It's all the people who don't want to deal with the government are probably the people who you should have in government. You know?
Exactly. I always want to be able to drive the direction of the community.
Yeah. That is true.
And so that's why I got elected.
Okay.
I've been a mayor for 4 or 5 years, almost 6 years now, and I was a councilperson for 7 years.
In New Mexico?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're familiar with James Freeman? In Tarrant County?
No, to Harris.
Oh, to Harris.
Yeah.
He's up in Tarrant County. He's been doing some stuff. He's a YouTuber up there.
Oh, okay.
And First Amendment advocate. That's what I am.
Yeah.
So I do YouTube. I actually have property in New Mexico.
Okay, what part?
Yes. I'm up in. Do you know where Abiquiu Reservoir is?
I sure do.
I'm just north. I have property just north of Abiquiu.
Okay. Yeah. I love that area.
It is really nice. Yeah. Oh, do they?
Yeah.
That's funny. So you're a mayor down there, huh?
I'm a mayor in Harris, just east of Albuquerque.
So do you live in Arizona now?
I bounce back and forth. Right
Okay.
Now.
So
she
very
moved here
cool.
For work, and so now I'm traveling twice a month, 3 times a month.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to just give up halfway through my term.
Yeah.
Because it's just too much to go back
Gotcha.
and forth.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I get a lot.
Right. Well, we need some stuff going on here because, like I said, I called.
I was asking about the corporations.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Because I am 100%. If you have smaller local politics,
Yeah.
you get so much more done. So much more.
Gotcha.
Otherwise, too hard to incorporate us.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's
Gotcha.
my biggest.
Okay. Cool. What's your name, by the way?
Jake Bruton.
Jake what? Bruton? Mayor Bruton. There you go.
Give me your YouTube, man.
All right. Yeah, I appreciate it because I went down to the zoning commission and talked to them about all these things, and they sent me an email that said, "Please don't contact us anymore." Yeah. And so I put this sign up, and within 2 days they sent me a letter saying they were going to fine me $4,000 a day.
Yeah.
So.
They're going to start with that kind of stuff. What I would do is start looking through the planning and zoning, that could all be public records.
I got them all. I got them all.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Get all that stuff, get it tight together, and then start pushing it on.
Well, we're at the lawsuit stage right now, so unfortunately, that's where we're at. So I've called the sheriff's department. They've come out 5 times. They actually arrested me, trespassed me from a public sidewalk once, then arrested me off a public road. I have 3 federal lawsuits against the sheriff's department, so it's a crazy business out there. That's why the sheriff's department,
So
they don't
grateful.
even want to bother coming by. No, they don't even want to come.
Bro.
Somebody actually called 911 last time I was out here. Oh, and they won't come on. Some guy's got a vulgar sign up here.
It's freedom of speech right there.
I agree. So yeah, they didn't even show up.
What you put on is still freedom of speech.
That is true.
Public right away.
This is actually an easement that the homeowners that have lived here for a long time have access to. So
Public right away.
Yeah.
You're good to go.
yeah, we're good to go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Other than that, ain't nothing they can do about it.
For sure.
Yeah, I love the bravado, brother.
Yeah, thank you.
You keep it up.
What was your name?
Gabby.
Gabby. My name's Mark. Mayor Bruton, I didn't remember your first name. Jake. And this is Joe, my neighbor Joe. Thanks for stopping by and having a conversation. I appreciate it. If you want to go to reluctantprofit.org and get a cool sweatshirt, the Tucson Kangaroo Court. That's all we have in here in Tucson is kangaroo courts.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm saying, dude. If we reincorporated, if we were a smaller community, we could have a push. We really, really could.
Gotcha.
Harris is 546 people sitting next to a city of 500,000.
Oh, wow.
Okay? I think capital outlay, like, you wouldn't believe. I got $60 million. $30 million.
Wow.
Building parks, fixing roads, putting in water tanks, drilling wells.
Gotcha.
All kinds of shit. Okay? And it's just networking and doing it. Because once you get this many votes, that makes a big difference in a county election. That makes a big difference in a state level election.
I know. But you know what the big fear, you want to know what the big fear is here? Everybody that's lived out here for 28 years, what we're afraid of now is that the county went ahead and smacked all these homes in here. And you know who live in all these homes?
Air Force.
No, California people. So now we go ahead and incorporate, and the majority are a bunch of morons that screwed up California that moved over here that want to screw up Vail.
Yeah, you might be surprised. Yeah.
Hey,
I was thinking,
we
Air Force.
well, there is the Air Force too. The Air Force brings in a lot of people from out here. Yeah.
Air Force.
How can an Air Force person afford a $400,000 house? You know what I mean? How can a person at the Raytheon or working at the school? My mom's worked at Raytheon for 40 years. She can't afford a $400,000 house out here. So it's all the people that are getting pushed out of California that now have millions of dollars from selling their home that can come pay cash for a $400,000 home. Yeah, and then come over here, and now they're like, hey, we can start controlling it and making mini California.
He's right. Listen to him. He's on the money. These communist pieces of shit from California are going to go and destroy your state too, because they keep voting the same way.
Really?
Voting for the same crap.
Gotcha. Okay, well, that's good to know.
Garbage.
All right. Gotcha. Well, if you want, I don't have a pen here, but send me your contact information. If you want to go to my YouTube channel, my email's on there too. It's reluctantprofit.org or reluctant.
Yeah, good job, dude. Good job.
I'm just gonna call you. Here you go. Let me type it. People are listening.
Okay.
There you go.
Last name again?
Mark.
Lost him for a second. There he is.
Yeah, he called me real quick. So I got his contact. Mayor Bruton. You're live. Yeah, we can't really see you, but Michael Eli. We can't see it, but you look beautiful anyways. You're welcome.
She looks amazing. Good job, dude. You did a good job picking a good woman.
Mark Kelly, and it's Reluctant Prophet. And Prophet. That was my dog's name. You don't want to be on the news in New Mexico?
I don't care.
Oh, okay.
No publicity is bad publicity.
No, you're right. Hey, you know what? And this is great to have an official, even from New Mexico, stop by, be curious, have a nice, cordial conversation, and give information and exchange information.
I get it. And
Yeah.
I encourage my constituents to do the same thing when
Sure.
they're having issues. Come to me, maybe I can advocate for them. If not, advocate for themselves.
Sure.
Advocate out.
Gotcha.
And just start in with, your local representatives, starting with, like you're doing, getting
Yeah.
your ducks in a row, getting the zoning plats and all the mapping and all that kind of stuff and what's supposed to be there, what's causing the flooding, what's causing all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And sometimes it takes a little bit longer, but in my community, we all
That's good. Okay, that's good. And I'm glad to hear that you are going to move out here. I'm sure if you're going to be trying to help out, change some things around here, we'll probably have some more conversations.
probably talk to each other in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much.
Man,
Have a great day. Thank you. All right, Joe. What do you think?
Who made it for you?
Who made that for me? This is my neighbor Joe. He's a
Good
great
seeing
guy.
you, Joe. God bless you, brother.
How long have you lived out here, Joe?
Almost 20 years.
Almost 20 years Joe's lived out here. What
Hell
do you
yeah,
think
man.
about the housing development moving in next door?
It sucks.
It sucks. See, everybody thinks I'm the only one that's upset about this housing development. And we got my neighbor Joe here who is happy they're moving in, and he's hoping that they'll pay him $1 million for his house. All right?
Man, it's horrible.
It
Like
is
my
hor-
friend's mother, she lives on the last mobile home,
Yeah.
and they built a new house that far from here.
See what I'm talking about, Michael?
That far from
Everybody's doing this and everybody's having an issue. I'm the only one willing to speak out. And everybody else, one, they don't want to deal with it because look what's happened to me. I've been demonized. I've been arrested. I've spent $30,000 in legal fees trying to fight all these charges. But
I can relate.
I don't have any kids, so
I can relate. I don't have much family left myself, so I get it.
yeah. So that's what we got going on. Thanks for stopping by, though, Joe.
Yeah.
And tell Boris I said hello.
Yeah.
Let me know if he likes the sign.
Oh, fuck yeah. I told him. He said it
Right
should
on. This is freaking awesome. Give me a bunch of ones for Electrum Profit, guys. What a badass dude.
I know. It's
Really like
ridiculous.
this guy. I think he's a fucking badass.
You open window and shoot it to the wall.
I know. Can you believe that? You used to have a beautiful
William
view.
Wallace.
You live out in the middle of the desert,
Last mobile home.
and his friend now looks out her window and sees a wall of a 2-story cookie cutter home now.
Unsat.
I mean, we literally moved out here 28 years ago. All right, Joe, because they were going to move a housing development in right next to our home, and my parents said, we're not going to deal with that. We're going to go ahead and move. We actually bought this home 28 years ago because they found a spot where they said that they weren't going to go ahead and develop. And, well, it took them 28 years. But instead of, as you can see, look at all the pristine desert around here. I mean, there's nothing but desert. As far as the eye can see, as far as the eye can see. And they went ahead and built homes literally 5 feet from his friend and my neighbors, with all of this desert around. So I think that they were trying to send a message to us.
Pretty wild, brother. Pretty wild.
Here, we got a bicycler stopped. He wanted to take a picture. Go ahead.
It's funny that freedom and liberty are such a novelty nowadays.
Well, nobody. It's so difficult to get anybody to help or to do anything. You really have to put yourself out there at the risk of being ostracized by your friends, your family, your neighbors. And I have. I mean, there's
Me
a lot
too.
of my neighbors that are upset. I mean, I don't
Me
really
too.
care for them. They're the type that call the police on me for passing them on the road.
Hey, let me share something with you, dude. I have one family member I have a relationship. It's my mother. I've been ostracized by everyone else. I totally understand. You
Yeah.
don't have to tell me. I get it. Other than that, it's just the Marines. My Marine
The
brothers
lonely-
who are bikers.
That's right. It's a lonely fight when you try and push back against the system. That's for sure.
Well, my dad always told me that you have to be defined and nothing else matters. And I've just taken that. I'm defined.
Yeah.
People know that I'm not like most lawyers. So that's good for me.
Definitely. Awesome. Well, I think I'm going to wrap up here in a little bit.
No problem. I'm going to cover, if you want to stick around in the back channel just to watch or whatever, I'm going to play Lane Meyer's video starting at around 1 hour and 36 minutes in, where he covers what's going on with this new proposed amendment where they're trying to take away the ability to audio record in court in Arizona.
Yeah, for sure. Well,
it's up to you. Either way, I'll be here live.
They're not trying to take. If you ask them, they're not trying to take it away. They're just trying to have more control over it.
Well, it's just interesting to me because it's not really a proposal going to the Supreme Court. It looks like it's the a prosecutor who is basically filing a motion to get the courthouse that he's in to say that this is the law. I don't see an appeal. I don't see a certiorari. I mean, you tell me, brother. I mean, I've been on my back for the last 4 days, so I'm not 100% following. I wish I had Lane's wife to tell me what the fudge is going on, because it sounds like she knows. You know what I
No,
mean?
he actually petitioned the Arizona Supreme Court to amend Rule 121 or 122
Copy that. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. All
to
right.
go
So
ahead and read that to audio record, you need to get permission, and then down lower it says, and then for you to broadcast it, you need to get permission again.
that's what this appendix is. Stand by. By the way, guys, just everybody needs to know I'm not an Arizona attorney. I'm licensed to practice law in California and Texas, and I support my family doing personal injury cases. And I've done a lot of civil rights law, but I never made any money at it. And so I had to find a way to support my family. But my love and my heart is what you're doing, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, that if I, honestly, typically it costs so much money to be able to, in costs, to do a civil rights case that you're not going to be able to do it. I mean, that's how they have you. They got you because you got to, that, right? Like you got to spend more money than you could ever get.
It cost me $80,000 for this forklift.
That's what I'm saying. Like, but just in court costs, expert witnesses, things like that, to be able to like win a civil rights case.
That's
right?
something that I wasn't aware of and didn't realize. Obviously you go in there and you hear every First Amendment auditor and people out there saying, I'm going to sue them. And everybody thinks that their case is worth $1 million.
I'm not going to win anything.
And it's like, first of all, you have to have damages or can prove damages.
Prove it.
And I'm learning that too. Not that I'm looking for a way out, but, I obviously don't think I'm going to get $5 million from these people for what they've done to me. So being realistic in your expectations and understanding that, the reason why you're probably not going to get a lawyer is because if they don't see dollar signs, there's no reason for them to even entertain it.
Yeah. And so to prove damages, just so while you're still here, I just want to share with the audience. So in a police excessive force case, I've got to bring in somebody like a retired chief of police, like Daryl Gates, right? And hire him as an expert and pay him $500 an hour. Normally I'll have to throw him like a $500 an hour times a minimum 20 hours up front. So I got to pay that up front out of my own pocket. I fund these cases. So when I see guys like, this is one guy, Lawyer Dog, and these other guys, like they think they know stuff. They don't know shit. They're telling me that, oh, you don't know what you're doing. It's like, dude, if you want to win a civil rights case and be successful at it, you've got to take money out of your own pocket and fund that case. Just like you and Lane, you don't have anybody supporting you. I don't have anybody supporting me except for my bank account. That's it. And so I've taken my personal injury cases, the motorcycle accidents, the dog bites, the car crashes, and whatever's left over, right, that I can set aside, I use that to fund my civil rights cases. But most of my civil rights cases that I do have to do with false arrest and trying to get people out of prison, because there's dudes that are locked up, dude, for like 30 years that shouldn't be in there. And I got like some mother calling me saying, my son's been in prison for 10 years. Can you help get him out? And so it like, honestly, bro, it destroys your whole psyche as a human being. And then people are telling you, oh, you're no good. Oh, you couldn't hack it it's like, dude, you want to go ahead and give me $100,000 to hire all these expert witnesses who are already hostile to you because probably they were responsible for locking this dude up. I'm just trying to teach people, like, it's not what you think. Okay, you don't just like go get people out of jail. You have to pay an enormous amount of money out of your own pocket in expert witnesses in order to win these cases, dude. So like when I see guys like you and Lane, I just want you to know that I really appreciate you guys a lot. And I'm really grateful that there's a few people like you out there who are willing to put your ass on the line, because there's a lot of people who are critical of you, want to trash talk you, but none of them are willing to put their life on the line or their home on the line to do what you're doing, bro.
I,
1000%, man.
yeah, it's yeah, I agree, and you know, it's you know,
Oh shit. Check it out. Mr. Gold just popped in.
yeah. How's it going, Mr. Gold? Welcome into
He
the
said
chat.
he says Reluctant Prophet and Lane are the first to publicly call these folks out. They don't want broadcast showing what happens in court in nearly all cases because nothing happens. They just did. Please. All right. Well, look, man, I know you got to go, bro. And if your back's feeling anything like mine, I get it. But just check it out. Like, you have total permission to use any of the clippings or whatever to, use them to your advantage to help get some kind of relief. My daughter is helping me try and get barred into Arizona, but it looks like it's going to be at least 6 months, even after we do all the paperwork and spend all the money. So in the meantime, I'm trying to find some patriotic lawyers who are like former Marines and stuff to try and help out pro bono. I'm not going to leave you hanging, dude. But I do appreciate everything that you've done. And then I'm just going to cover right now. If you want to stay on in the back room and then pop in if you want to say shit, all I'm going to do is cover. Here, I'll show you. I'm going to cover this one. Stand by. I'm going to cover this video that Lane did. It's called Lane's Law: How to Object. Looks like we already lost him. So, anyways, he's gone already. Anyways, guys, I'm going to cover Lane's Law: How to Object. Hopefully, you guys like it. That's fine. His phone died. Anyways, give me a bunch of ones for Reluctant Prophet, guys. Make sure to go and like and subscribe to Lane's channel. I'm not Lane. God, I keep confusing the two of them. Make sure to go and like and subscribe to Reluctant Prophet's channel, and hopefully we'll have him on again. I really appreciate him showing up. He's a really cool guy. One of the things that I really appreciate about Reluctant Prophet is he's super reasonable. I'm going to be honest with you. If I was a judge or if I was a prosecutor and I had a guy like that, I would be terrified, because he doesn't come off like one of these sovereign citizen crazy maniacs. He comes off like a super reasonable dude. And so for that, here, I'm going to share my, oh, there you go. What's up, guys? That is called an FNP 45. If I touch it, my show will get banned. But that's that's your second line of defense. You have a First Amendment, and then you have a second. All right. So what I'm going to do really quick, guys, is I'm going to cover, before I get into Lane's video, I'm going to share with you a little bit about the First Amendment. All right. Because this is super important. So this is basically, Lane Myers has been doing audio recordings in court. And in Arizona, they have this old rule, I think it's called 122H, that says that you're allowed to record as long as you give notification, not ask for permission, but notice the head judge that you're going to be recording, right? So that's what he was doing, and he was recording. And so the first thing I want to do is give you the historical context behind the First Amendment, because our Marxist-run public school system that supports people like George Soros, they don't really teach you what the First Amendment is about. So I'm going to give you a quick little education. The First Amendment protection for free speech and press and assembly, and to petition the government for redress of grievances, plays a significant role in judicial transparency and accountability. However, our history and interpretation, and I'm sure that What's the Matter You has a lot to say about this. Make sure you guys can see me. All right. The First Amendment was primarily aimed at protecting political speech, all right, and ensuring that the government couldn't suppress criticism or the free exchange of ideas. Its application to judicial proceedings evolved over time, because it's not something a lot of people really thought about it, right? A lot of people never really thought, like why would it be any different in a courtroom that I couldn't protest, right? But just so you guys know, like the idea is that a judge is the personification of the state, right? And so if you don't respect the judge, if you allow the courtroom to become a free for all, then other people won't respect the power of the court. The problem is we just saw with Trump, right? Like all these Democrat judges getting these bogus convictions, many people say, against him using lawfare. And the only people that support it are hardcore Democrats. And everybody else is going, wait a minute, this doesn't look right. This guy's never had any issues. All of a sudden, social media run by Democrats, right? Like Bezos, right? And Google. All of a sudden, he wins the second time, and then, you saw what happened, right? You guys saw like they were putting cardboard up so you couldn't watch, the vote counters couldn't watch. You saw people wearing Biden for president campaign gear, right? Counting the ballots, and they weren't even like arrested because that's illegal to show partisan support. Anyways, I don't want to get into it too much, but let's get into it. Okay. So in the early days of the American jurisprudence, court proceedings were often open to the public. But this was more about public access to hear cases than the right to record them. Because, we didn't have court recording going on. So the concept of recording as we know it today wasn't really it wasn't really there. I hope you give me a bunch of ones if you guys understand what I'm saying. There weren't recording devices. The only way you could record would be to bring, and I'm going to get into this with you in a minute, would be to bring someone in who is like an officer of the court, like a notary public, King's Bench, Google it, notary public, which is how I won my traffic cases back in the day. This is something that hopefully Lane's listening to, because when I was doing this, we didn't have phones, so my cameras got stomped. I got beat up by cops and got arrested. So this is why I became a lawyer, dude. So I could help people like you. Anyways, so the concept of recording as it exists today, there was no such thing. So I'll give you some case law. Richmond Newspapers, Inc. versus Virginia, 1980. It talks about the public right to attend. However, it talks about physical attendance, not recording. So the notion about the First Amendment being able to record and stuff, because we didn't have recording devices, sort of gave like the commies an opportunity to kind of F us, in my opinion. But Estes versus Texas, a 1965 case, I'm not going to give you the full citation, you do it yourself, was an early Supreme Court case where the court found that television coverage of a trial could prejudice the defendant's right to, notice how they flip it, could hurt the defendant. Right, yeah, right. So in other words, allowing openness could hurt the defendant, right? Later in Chandler v. Florida, it's an 81 case, the Supreme Court reversed that and said, holding that not all televised coverages would automatically violate due process. So allowing a state-by-state discretion. So basically, they still would give basically the court discretion, right? Judicial discretion. So the judiciary has maintained significant control over whether recording devices are allowed. And that's why you still can't do video recording of the Supreme Court, but they do allow you to audio record. And that's what's interesting to me, that the U.S., Lane, listen to me, the U.S. Supreme Court audio records their proceedings. Why is it that all court rooms don't have audio recording? Why not do some judo on this guy without messing up your back like me? On this prosecutor, why not do some judo and say, look, I'm cool with, right, like me not being able to bring my own device in, but why can't it be audio recorded for the public? That's the issue. That's the issue. Because see, voice inflection and deflection has a big role to play in how a jury would decide, or the public could understand a proceeding. Give me a bunch of ones if you guys agree with me that if the Supreme Court says it's okay to audio record, but why an appeal, a certiorari, for example, why isn't it okay to have it audio recorded in state courts? Right? It just doesn't make sense to me. Okay. All right. So just really quick, because I don't want to bore you guys, I'm hoping you guys are having a good time because, like me sitting here, I'm dying right now. My back is jacked. All right. So, judges allegedly can protect the integrity of trials by controlling what happens in their courtrooms. Well, I agree. Controlling people getting out of control, showing decorum and respect, that's important because I'm a Marine, right? So I get that. But audio recording, I don't understand why that's a problem. You should be able to audio record. So the way I won my, I said this earlier. So the way I won my traffic cases, because I know they wouldn't let me record because it was California, is I would bring in a not a court reporter, strike that. I would bring in a certified notary public and I would have her, let's face it, girls are faster writers and they're just smarter than guys, in my opinion. Anyways, take down everything that the judge said, and then I would transcribe that and then have her swear under or declare, affirm, because we don't swear because you don't swear by heaven, for it's his kingdom, or by earth, for it is his footstool, right? Give me a bunch of ones if you've ever read your Bible. So we would have her affirm under penalty of perjury that everything she said was true and correct. And the judges would say things like, "You're one of those crazy people who likes to try and win traffic cases by making cops look bad." So literally, guys, check it out. Santa Ana, Fullerton Court, if you can find the records, it's all there. But that's how I would win my cases. The judges would dismiss the cases immediately because they knew what they were doing was BS. I mean, judges are supposed to be neutral parties, right? So by taking away the ability for us to audio record and then having a court reporter who's beholden to the court may make people like Lane or Reluctant Prophet not believe that the actual record is correct. And who gets to review the record before it's published? I wonder. Anybody know? Anybody know who gets to review the record before the public does? Think about that. All right. So the bottom line is that the Judicial Conference of the United States has rules prohibiting broadcasting, televising, recording, or photographing any district court proceeding. That's federal, although some federal appellate courts do allow it under strict conditions. All right. So while the First Amendment does not support the principle of public oversight of judicial proceedings, allegedly, which I think it does, I really do think the First Amendment actually intended more than anything that courts would have the ability to hold the judge accountable. Case law, what's the matter, you there, buddy? Says that it doesn't. So what they do is they claim there's a balancing of interests. They claim that witness protection, juror anonymity, and administration of justice militates against recording. But here's the problem, guys. Lane Myers is audio recording. There's no way you would know the names of the witnesses. There's no way that you see any of these people. So it's just really weird. It doesn't make sense. Give me a bunch of ones if you agree. Modern interpretations recognize that while there's a right to access, this does not necessarily extend to unrestricted recording. Courts continue to have significant discretion in managing their proceedings, often requiring permission. And so, look, I'm not going to lie. When I first saw that somebody told me this dude, Lane Myers, this pro se idiot dude is recording, I was like, there's no way. I'm not going to tell you that I don't believe it. I'm not going to tell you he's a charlatan because I'm not an idiot, right? I'm not one of these guys that automatically tries to denigrate people without knowing everything. And that's one of my strengths. And so I did some research and I could not find this rule 122H. I mean, I Googled it, I Binged it. It just didn't exist. It was nowhere to be found. And it took one of my guys to literally send me the code section because I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm right. I'm almost ready to make a finding. And then I was like, holy crap, dude. This dude who wears like this big American flag tie and total crazy person. But I'm a crazy person. To any lawyer that you guys meet, if you mention my name, I'm pretty much on the outs. Like they don't, in California, people look at me like I'm a crazy person. But then again, none of these dudes, I would say 99% of lawyers have never served in the military. and 99.99% never served in the Marine Corps. I have a different mentality. And so for me, it's like, this dude reminds me of somebody that like probably would have fallen on a grenade for me in a combat situation. So I'm going to give this dude the benefit of the doubt. And I was right about him. And so I learned about all this stuff and I was like, damn, this dude's legit, man. Like there really is the right to audio record. And I even said in one of my videos, it's going to be outlawed. Watch, guys. Like, there's no way this is going to be allowed to be continued. And so what we're going to do is, hey, it's good seeing you, Brent and Sandy. And it's okay, Sandy. Sandy, you got to understand something. Like my dad told me that you have to be defined, and that's how I'm going to be, because he was a legit dude and he was willing to die for his country and his people. And just because my blood relations may not have any respect for me because I'm too outspoken, I have a whole bunch of people here in my sidebar that are my friends now, and those are my real friends because we're all blood relatives. What matters is what's up here and in here in your heart. So that's what really matters. Give me a bunch of ones if you guys agree. Like Life Under the Microscope, legit dude. Yeah, sometimes he gets out of hand, but I don't care. He's one of us, and we have to accept our brothers and sisters for who they are once they're into our fold, because they're willing to go to war for us. Like my wife, she's my shield maiden. She doesn't like it that I'm on here because we're not making any money. Like I don't get like millions of super chats like Chili or BZ. I don't get like a lot of people buying memberships. But like she understands that for my mental security, my mental health, that I have to do this. I was called to do it. So that's the way we do it. Now, auditing tyranny, I'll take a look at it. I generally don't do the audit stuff. I do tight handcuff and police shooting. And most of my cases are catastrophic injury cases. Now, if you guys want to help me set up a fund, set up a nonprofit to raise money for auditors, where I have money to hire experts and do all that stuff, I have no problem with that. But just keep in mind that, like all you guys who think you know stuff, you don't know shit. It's very expensive to litigate a civil rights case. Extremely expensive, like hundreds of thousands of dollars. And when Gavin Newsom shut down the California economy, it almost bankrupted our law firm because I'd spent millions of dollars on advertising, including those billboard ads. And nobody was driving, or very few people were driving. So the pie was cut up, and it hurt us bad. But I'm still here. I agree with you, Life Under. Chili's my bro. Chili's my homeboy. And I hope that you guys support Chili and look after him. I visited him when he was in jail, when everybody else, or a lot of people, were so happy that he was arrested and hoping that his end would be near. And no, there's too few of us. We're like Marines, guys. Think about this. You need to think like the Marine Corps. You may not like your gunny, you may not like your CO or your XO, but they're still Marines. And they all joined and they all became part of a very elite organization. And people who support the Bill of Rights and the Constitution and natural law are elite. And you can't just discard them because you may disagree with their personality or something about them that you don't like. No, we need to find a way to get along. We have to. Otherwise, because the deep state, the administrative state, the college system, the public schools, they want us divided. They want us to hate each other. Like even Lawyer Dog, I wish he would come back to the fold. I feel bad for him because I don't like illegal alien criminals because they're trying to have their way with our women. He should know that on the other things, I agree with him on, and we should have him back. But it's just the way it is. And fundraising is a big deal, auditing tyranny. But the problem, again, with fundraising is, who do we trust? Right? Because so many people are just trying to use that to get money for themselves and personal enrichment. And so we would have to find, so there's a lot more to it than you guys think. Okay. I just want you to know there's a lot more to it. Like we have to find a way to not only do fundraising, but make sure the money goes to somebody that we trust. And so if you guys have ideas, because I don't have the answers, and I'm too injured now, and I'm getting old, and I need help. But I have a lot of clout in a lot of realms, and I have a very high IQ, and I am a lawyer in Texas and California, and I'm willing to do whatever I have to do to help leave this world a better place for our kids. So just think about that. Yeah. That's right, auditing. It's about making sure you trust somebody. So many people, oh, yeah, send me your donation. How do you know that that donation is even going to go towards covering it? You know, I don't. I don't. I don't know the answer. I mean, you could even set up a trust, but are the trustees trustworthy? Because I've had so many elder abuse cases where the family left behind money and the lawyer runs off with the cash and gets disbarred, but they don't care because they're living in the Turks and Caicos, living off your father or your mother's money. So there's a lot of things we need to do, but we need to work together as a team, and we can't discard each other. Guys like Lane and Chili DeCastro are very rare. Guys like Reluctant, very, very squared away dude. The guy is, in my opinion, he would make an excellent judge because he is very well keeled, evenly keeled, as they would say in the Marine Corps. He's an evenly keeled officer personality type. So I'm having a really good time with you guys. All right, but I don't want to bore you because I can see that my audience keeps decreasing the more that I talk. But Brent, if you have ideas, if you know people that you think are trustworthy, I tend, honestly, I tend to look at the old school, like not religious zealots, but people who do believe in natural law, people who believe in a creator, people who believe that they'll be condemned by their creator for lying and for stealing from their brothers and sisters. That's my thing. To me, my kids know that like lying and stealing are like, I'm not going to beat you if you lie, but if you lie to me, I'm going to shun you. And I want to find people who are more concerned about being shunned from their community than are anything else. So if you're a really strong supporter of Team MPE or guys like Lane or Reluctant Prophet, that's what I look at. Like, are you somebody who doesn't want to be shunned? Yeah. So think about that. Just think about it. I don't have all the answers, but I think shunning is a really big deal. Like if you're part of something that you believe in, like in the Marine Corps, like getting shunned by your fellow Marines, especially in an infantry unit, it's like you might as well just shoot yourself. Yeah, because those are your brothers, right? That's it. So, anyways, let's before I show all of the other court documents, I found some Lane Meyer stuff. I wish there was a way I could share this. By the way, guys, here's a way you could help Team MPE besides donating money or buying memberships. If you or buying my book, if you can help me figure out how to convert these into vertical. I know a lot of you guys want me to do stuff in horizontal, but I'm trying to reach out to the young crowd. And because TikTok is getting shut down, all the young people are coming over to YouTube. So now's our opportunity to start educating the younger people. Let's face it, most patriots are like 50 and up. There's not really too many pro-American people who understand the Bill of Rights and the Constitution who are like younger than us. And so my goal here was to use vertical because I know that the algorithm that YouTube is using is designed to get the TikTokers because they're favoring vertical. I'm sorry, yeah, vertical. So if I can get some help to like make this video of Lane's pleadings show up in vertical, that's what I'm looking for. Somebody who like knows what's going on. You're right, Brent. Shunning is extremely powerful. And that's what we need. Like we need people who care more about being shunned than they care about their own personal aggrandizement. But I'm going to share this with you. Hopefully you can read it. And we'll let Lane do his thing. He's a pretty smart dude.
You gave us 4 months to send this to every news station in Arizona, every lawyer in Arizona. We're going to go to every court in Arizona and embarrass you. Matthew Walker, you just gave us 4 fucking months to respond. So anyways, he's saying that I weaponized he's saying that I'm an individual who weaponized the court. I mean, excuse me. Matt Walker is saying that by following the rules, Lane Myers weaponized his YouTube channel to intimidate and harass others who are appearing or testifying in court. How can you intimidate and harass somebody? Rule 122 states that except as provided in H and I, a person who wishes to use a recording device during a proceeding must submit a request to cover. A party, victim, or witness may object. However, Rule 122H states that a person may use a personal audio recorder during a proceeding, but the person must notify the judge or the judge's staff prior to using the device. Specifically, a person who uses a personal audio recorder is not required to submit a request under paragraph C of this rule, but a person who wishes to record or broadcast the audio portion of a proceeding with a device that is not on the person must do so. So as long as the device is on the person, they don't need permission and they just need notice. So that's all I did. I followed the rule. What some of you might not know by now is that my wife worked at, like, I don't care anymore. I don't care who knows what anymore. My wife worked at the court where Dick Tracy works, okay? My wife was a law clerk for one of the judges at Dick Tracy's court, and the judge still works there, okay? And that judge already clarified this rule once for Mark Brown, okay? My wife wrote a court order as the law clerk for the judge she worked for, saying that Mark Brown can video for 1 year in the court because he's following Rule 122. The court is not, okay? And so I'm not going to say it was cheating, but it's like, I mean, when my wife was working at federal court when she got fired, not at the court Dick Tracy. I'm saying before that she worked at the one with Dick Tracy. But I already knew these rules. Okay? Like, or what I should say is I read the rules before I went down there, showed them to her, and she was like, "Oh yeah, this is what you need to do." Boom. All right. So it's not cheating, it's just being able to read. All right. And it doesn't just so happen that my wife is the law clerk of the judge who wrote the court order for Mark Brown saying he can record. That was before we got together. So I didn't have nothing to do that, but that was before we were together. So it's like, well, when I went down there to go to court and said, I'm going to use 122H, there was no doubt in my mind what I was doing or how it was used, or like when my wife was the one who had to fucking deal with people recording when she worked there. So why would it be so it's like I'm walking in there with the rule in my pocket, knowing exactly what I can and can't do. So I already knew that as long as I just keep it close to me, I could do it, okay? And so I literally went in there and followed the rule. And he's making it out. He said that I'm a bad person because I followed the rules. What in the fuck? You can't. So I didn't break the law and I got charged. I followed the rules and it's being used against me? What kind of ass backwards? Oh, wait, it's Maddie Malpractice Walker, the legal loser. So I followed the rules, right? Yeah, read collectively, appear to allow a person to record or broadcasting without the person even needing to seek the permission of the court as long as the recording device is on their person. Yep. Read collectively. Reading is fundamental and you can read. Hey, can we all read? Good job, Matt Walker. You passed their first test, being able to read. I mean, read collectively. Paragraphs C and H appear to allow a person to record or broadcast a proceeding without the person even needing to seek the permission of the court as long as the recording device is on their person. Let's give Matt Walker, hey, what does this deserve? Hey, folks, what does this deserve? Let's give Matt Walker what he deserves for that one. Hey, y'all. What are we going to give Matt Walker for that? Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant observation. Matt Walker can read. Matt Walker can read. Matt, you can read. Matt can read. Matthew Walker can read. It's good to know Matt can read. Guess who else knows how to read? What do you know? Read collectively. That's exactly what it is. Imagine that. Read collectively. It appears to allow a person to record or broadcast without the person needing to seek the permission of the court as long as the recording device is on their person. So why do you think I went to 16 hearings and told them, I'm recording, take me to fucking jail or fuck off? As a consequence, as a consequence, right? As a consequence of following the rules, how is following the rules ever a consequence? Jesus. Individuals attending court proceedings have been using smartphones to broadcast, right? Proceedings without requesting permission from the court. And judges seem unsure as to whether they even have discretion to deny the request. What are they unsure of when if you just read it, I don't need permission. So since I don't need permission, I'm not going to ask for it. And judges seem unsure, then why haven't the judges why is Matt Walker so now Matt Walker's speaking for all judges? Matt, you're a piece of shit. I hope you fucking lose your job, and I hope you're never allowed to work in fucking the legal profession again. And I told you that from the first day, and I'm standing by this. And you're just giving us more and more ammunition to beat a dead horse with. Matt Walker is a dead horse, the proverbial dead horse, Matt Walker. Legal loser, Matty malpractice. You're literally beating a dead horse with this broadcasting shit. You fucking are telling the Supreme Court, yeah, oh, yep. They said, yeah, that's what they said. They said you can do that. And now you're saying, well, the judges seem unsure. Can the judges not fucking read? What's there to be unsure about? Read the fucking see above. Read. Okay. They don't seem unsure. Matt Walker is reaching for reasons to gaslight the public. And while the public's going to have a lot to say, Matty malpractice Walker, it's particularly problematic where it's used to embarrass or harass another person, such as a victim in a criminal case, or a party seeking to have an injunction against harassment upheld. And see the little one right here? The footnote? Oops. Right here? This one right here? Oh, what does that take you to? When you click it, it takes you to this. Lane Myers wins 2 cases in 1 day. So that's an example of Lane Myers embarrassing, harassing another person. Matt, I don't even know how you fucking look yourself in the mirror, man. Honestly. It may be argued. No, it may not. It may not. It may not. Matt, I actually feel sorry for how fucking much of a sad sack of shit you are. That you would even, why would you even put anybody with any self-respect would not have filed this? Matt, what you mean is it's not the judges seem unsure. It's my wife is scared of her own shadow. My wife is scared because she won't be able to go to court and lie anymore and get away with it. And you know what? Why didn't Matt include the example of when it was his wife in court? because we had video requests that day too. Man, so it may be argued it only permits recording for personal use later and not live streaming. No, it doesn't. The second sentence in the paragraph, broadcast, appears to undercut that argument. Who's arguing it? What argument? Nobody's arguing that because there's no argument. If this is the case, the rule must be clarified. Why must it be clarified? Can you not fucking read? You just clarified it. You clarified it right here. Here, you clarified it, Matt. You clarified it right here. You clarified that. Read collectively. So do you need clarification? Read the yellow part of your own motion. You need clarification of if you can broadcast. I mean, it's literally right here. Broadcast the proceeding. It allows you to. Yes, it does that. It does allow you to do audio broadcast, Matt. Arizona appellate courts provide no clarity as paragraph does not appear to have been analyzed. Because why would it, Matt? Why
Exactly.
nobody
Why would
would
it?
be in any decision? Why would there be case law on a court rule? Everybody follows it and there's no problems until you came along. What?
How can you argue
The
with him?
ubiquity of smartphones and live streaming services have created an issue.
So just really quick, guys. My only issue with Lane is that if I was a lawyer and I talked this way, all the cussing and stuff, I would be disbarred. So I could understand why he doesn't want to get barred in. But if you can like cut through the swearing and all that stuff, it all makes sense. Like if you could, like as a lawyer, from a lawyer's perspective, like what I've had to learn to do, because I've been trained to think that if people engage in all this stuff, swearing and cussing and all that, that it's improper. But in my mind, because I'm a jarhead, I can snap it out and hear what he's saying. And really what he's saying is, hold on, I want to share this with you. Just want to find this really quick. So here's the rule. Hopefully you can see it. Let me get over here really quick. We'll get back into it in a minute, but I actually have the pleading. Here's the rule. 122H states that a person may use a personal audio recorder during a proceeding, but the person must notify the judge or the staff prior to using the device. Great. Specifically, and this is, of course, the prosecutor putting this specifically, a person who uses the personal audio recorder is not required to submit a request under C of this rule, but a person who wishes to broadcast the proceeding that is not the person must do so. So the issue is that the rule says that if you're like a TV or radio, right, AM radio, Rush Limbaugh for you old guys, you would have to get permission to broadcast. But Lane Myers isn't required to have permission to broadcast, right? And then as I go through the pleading and I look at like the arguments by the prosecutor, and again, I'm only licensed to practice law in Texas and California, so I'm not giving you legal advice about an Arizona case, all right? But I'm just telling you, as like if I was a citizen or a property holder of land in Arizona, I'd be thinking, well, why does it matter? I mean, he's audio recording from court. Who gives a shit if he's not CNN or Rush Limbaugh? He's audio recording. But the prosecutor assumes a lot of facts, not an evidence, that this is being done to harass people. It's like all this stuff with no. So if I was Lane Myers, I would file objections. I don't know if this is meant. It doesn't have his name on the pleadings, I don't believe. Let's take a look. Does it? Hold on. So it says, in the matter of petition to amend Rule 122. So it doesn't have Lane's name on there. So Lane would probably have to file like an amicus brief or something to protest this, right? Protest, Latin for testing. I'm for testing. I'm protesting. So in Latin could even make the argument this is really about him because this never happened until Lane Myers. But the idea that I would have is that it's unopposed. Here's the problem: is it's unopposed. I would file written objections that assumes facts not in evidence, lacks foundations, and argumentative. Every single argument this prosecutor makes lacks foundation. It's argumentative. All of them. He's just saying, like, people are using this audio recording to make the court look bad and all this stuff. It's like, where's your evidence, dude? Where's the declaration of Judge so and so? Right? Hold on a minute. Let me get up here. So Lane and Reluctant and Mr. Gold, where's the declaration saying, I, Judge so and so, feel that, or I know based on my personal knowledge that these audio recordings are being used to do X, Y, and Z? Nothing is there. Where are the objections to evidence? Where is, like, using the evidence code lacks foundation, right? Assumes facts not on evidence. There's nothing there. It's not there. The whole brief, to me, if I was in California or Texas, because I have to couch it that way, is a joke. And I got my start as an appellate lawyer. I externed for the Court of Appeal in California. I know a little something. So some people may say, well, you have a lot of experience, but that doesn't mean anything. Look, guys, my 20 years of experience is coupled with results, okay? I know there's a lot of lawyers out there who just have a bar card and they practice law, but I have actual real experience. And so my experience is backed up by results. And so that's the difference for the 13 years of experience guy, is my 20 years of experience are backed up with results. And I know what I'm talking about. I would file some kind of an amicus brief and I would be like, lacks foundation, argumentative, assumes facts not on evidence all day long. There is no, I would take each snippet and I would put it into a brief. And I would do what they call, I don't know what it is in Arizona, but I would do written objections to evidence. I'm just telling you. And I think this could be thwarted. Now, I don't know how the Arizona Supreme Court's going to rule on this, but I think this prosecutor, if he was going up against me, he'd be having some problems. I'm just telling you. I would not just let this happen. And if I was Lane Myers, I don't think Lane is going to let it happen. And I know that he knows everything already, but I know what I'm doing too, dude. And if you just would at least, listen to me, maybe you'll find a better way to do this. But I think you've got to find a way to, maybe it's an intervener's motion, but you've got to find a way to intervene, because if this happens, because we know it's happening because of you, you've got to find a way to thwart it. Give me a bunch of ones in the sidebar if you guys agree. And look, if you're a lawyer or a former prosecutor and you're in Arizona, I mean, dude, reach out to me, man, because I want to help these guys, because I'm stoked at what they're doing so far. I think this is badass. This is freaking dope. Let's get back into Lane's video. Here we go.
Issues. That's simply, there's no issue, Matt. The issue is you can't fucking read, Matt. And you're a sack of shit. How does Matt Walker look himself in the mirror? In that vein, it may seem self-evident that a judge always has discretion or not to allow or not allow, right? No, it doesn't. It does not, by its terms, gives court that level of flexibility, because you can't, that's not equal protection, Matt Walker. The whole point is the rule is the same in every courtroom for everybody at all times. Not, oh, well, the judge likes this guy, so he can record. The judge doesn't like this guy, or the prosecutor needs a fucking favor. Matt Walker, you're embarrassing the legal profession. Matt Walker, of course the rule does not give courts the flexibility of stopping people from recording when they're allowed to. Matt, Malpractice Walker, Matt, this is literally, you're going to give me 4 months to show the whole world how much you suck at even legal theory. Matt, how did you come up with this and say this is a good argument? It does not, by its terms. Of course, they're not going to give kangaroo fucking courts and kangaroo judges the fucking discretion to censor people. That's what the Supreme Court is for, making sure the lesser magistrates don't get off their fucking reservation in the kangaroo court. No, the Supreme Court is not going to give kangaroo courts the opportunity to fucking silence people. I can go into the Supreme Court in audio broadcast, but you're saying I can't do it in the kangaroo court? Matt Walker, you're a pathetic sack of shit. If a judge has the discretion to permit or deny, the rule should state that. No, the judge doesn't have a discretion. No, a kangaroo judge with no law degree does not have discretion to override a Supreme Court rule. There's no reason that the judge should not have complete control over whether that occurs in their own courtroom. There's so many reasons, Matt, and you're going to get 4 months of public comments why there's so many reasons why the judge should not. The judge should never have control over who can record. The judge should sit back and shut the fuck up and let the parties deal with the case. Why would the judge give a fuck who records? He's a goddamn judge. It's public.
So real quick, so guys, just so you know, there are times that arguably it would be proper for a judge to not want things to be recorded, like a child abuse case, or a case where you have a confidential witness, a CI, a confidential informant. But guys, there's no video recording here. This is not video recording. This is an audio recording. And I don't know. I just think that the prosecutor's office rocker on this one, if this was California or Texas, remember, I'm not licensed in Arizona, but I did have one of my members just now, Brent. Was it Brent? Hey, good seeing you, Mr. Gold. One of my members wanted me to share this with you really quick, and I don't want to get too crazy, so let me just real quick. So this is the Court Rules Forum, and it says, hold on. Here we go. R-25-0031, petition to amend Supreme Court 122. Matthew Walker, the principal assistant prosecuting city attorney for Tucson, Arizona. Here's his contact info. I guess he's at 103 East Alameda, Suite 501, Tucson, for you Californians, Tucson, East Alameda, Suite 501, Tucson, AZ 85701. Looks like the phone number is 520-791-4105. AZ bar number 33,497. Matthew.Walker at tucsonaz.gov, filed on January 10th, just recently, an appeal that would amend Rule 122 to broaden the power of the court to restrict recording or broadcasting. So comments have to be submitted by May 1st, 2025. And then there's all these different links, copies of the petition, the appendix, and it says you're not authorized to post a reply. So I don't know how that works out, but that's pretty interesting. So obviously Matthew Walker doesn't like it that Lane Myers is audio recording and broadcasting it. And since he's legally allowed to do it, this prosecutor wants to make sure that he can't. Now, if I don't know, if I was George Washington, Ben Franklin, or Thomas Jefferson, I would be, this doesn't pass the smell test for me. But I'm an anti-federalist, so I don't know what you guys think. But this does not smell. Give me a bunch of ones if this doesn't pass the smell test for you. Hey, Mr. Gold, good seeing you, brother. Hey, man, I'm so sorry that I have not been on the ball these past couple days with my responding and all that. I'm pretty jacked up. My back's wiped out, man. So I wasn't even going to go live today, but I had a lot of people going, dude, you got to do it. You got to do it. So I did it. So here I am. All right. So let's get back into Lane's video, which I just love the way this guy breaks things down. He's a pretty cool dude, man. You got to admit, I mean, there's not too many guys out there that play cool dub, whatever it's called. Dub. What the hell is the name of that group? The band, the electronic music, dub something. Love that music, by the way, Lane. I got my kids listening to it now. And if you didn't cuss all the time and stuff, dude, you could be a badass lawyer. Like, you could kill it, man. Just do a little bit of decorum. You could if you wanted to, but I'm not telling you to do that. I'm not judging you, but I'm just saying, dude, like, if you would just follow a couple of the things that I'm telling you, you'd be able to take all that intelligence that you have and help other people instead of like help other people more than you're doing now. Because as a lawyer, I've helped a lot of people get out of prison that would still be in there. And that's just so you know, like I've literally helped a lot of people get out of prison who would still be in there because nobody else gave a shit about them. But if I didn't follow those rules, they'd still be in prison. So take it or leave it, no judgment. Let's go.
Every fucking thing he does is on the record. The petition record it does, but then he says the petition recognizes that defendant interest in a public trial as well as the rights of both parties are substantive and fundamental. So he couldn't find any case law against the rule, but he can find tons of case law saying that we have the right to have a public trial and the rights of the public and the press, right? So Matt, he cites some case law. It also may argue that open court can constitute a distinction without a difference. But open court and the number of people who can attend are necessarily circumcised by spatial limits. Descriptions that occur after the fact are more dispassionate and measured. What are descriptions? As the judicial process itself should be. It is one thing for a victim testifying to look out in the courtroom and see the defendant, but also see the faces of support, law enforcement. It's another thing for the person to testify to know that person against whom they are testifying is personally broadcasting. Why would it matter who's broadcasting it if they're testifying against the person? If it's being broadcast, why does it matter if it's the person personally, the court, or somebody else, or the news or whatever? Matt, you're a sack of shit, Matt. Matt, you should go neuter yourself. Matt, you should castrate yourself because you're not a man. Matt Walker, you're not a man. You're not a man of honor, of integrity, or of anything, Matt. Matt, you're not a man. You're not in your man card is revoked. It's another thing. No, Matt. No fundamental right. Matt. This position does not seek to change Rule 22. You just want the judge to be able to arbitrarily and capriciously decide who can and can't based on if they find you likable or not. Yeah, we know, Matt. Live streaming can benefit the court litigants. Oh, yeah. Must be at the sole discretion of the kangaroo judge, not at the discretion of bad faith actors. How are you? I'm a defendant in a case. How can you be a bad faith actor if you're accused?
So there you go. So that's the problem. He's assuming facts, not an evidence. He's not laid any foundation. And because he thinks that Lane doesn't know what he's doing, he doesn't believe that anyone's going to do a joinder or anybody's going to file an amicus to try to oppose this motion, right? It's an unopposed appeal to the Arizona Supreme Court based on my knowledge from being an appellate lawyer in California. And I've got a lot of experience as an appellate attorney. And so my thought is that this prosecutor believes that absent any opposition, that the court will have to simply presume anything that he says is true. So Lane, now is your opportunity to put on your appellate lawyer hat and kick the shit out of this guy, because there is no evidence that he's proffered in the form of a sworn declaration or anything. And obviously the written objections, in my opinion, and if it was California, should be filed. So you guys who are out there who know him, maybe direct him to this part of my video about 2 hours and 28 minutes in. But this dog doesn't hunt, guys. And if I'm the Supreme Court justice, I'm probably going to grant it absent some kind of a valid opposition. So think about that. You know, YouTube is cool, but you have to have a formal opposition. And I don't know what the time constraints are, but let's keep listening, because everything Lane's saying is true, but it has to be proffered up in an opposition brief. Let's keep going.
Accused of a crime and you're defending your innocent and you're innocent until proven guilty. I thought a defendant is an innocent until proven guilty person, not a bad faith actor. Matt, I wish there was a way, Matt. I just wish there was a way for me and you to sit down together in the same room and I look you in the face and just tell you how fucking stupid you are, how incompetent you are, and how much this is legal trash. Matt, this is not the place to take out. Matt, if you got such a problem with me, send me a
What evidence is there? What evidence is there that bad faith actors who only have an interest in live streaming are doing this? Now, when I grew up, investigative journalists always had an interest because it's a public interest, right? So Lane or whoever's listening wants to help me with this because I have an interest as an American to make sure that this doesn't happen in Arizona as an American. What compelling state interest is there that outweighs the public interest in live streaming an ongoing matter involving the potential loss of life, liberty, or property? That's what I want to know. Because that's how I would couch it in some kind of an amicus, something like that. Hey, look, I don't have all the answers, guys, but I am a freedom fighter. 1,000,000%. Like, trust me, guys, I would be on the bench right now, or I would be a politician making millions and millions of dollars if I didn't have this. I want you guys to win. I hope so, Lane. I mean, I hope so, Brent. I hope so, Brent. But if not, I just want you guys to know that this is like next level shit, right? Like, there has to be objections to evidence, written objections. He is making allegations that have no factual basis in law, okay? And you have to object to that in order to overcome them, okay? I don't know what's going on, Brent. I don't know, the skill level that he's got, but I know the one that I've got, and I know how to win. So I'm just trying to help you guys come up with some ideas. And who knows, maybe some of my ideas are ideas that he didn't have. That's all. I'm not here to try and put people down or try and prove how smart I am. I'm here because I want this dude to win. So give me a bunch of ones if you guys believe me. I want the guy to win. I'm not doing this because I'm trying to make a bunch of money. I'm sitting here with about a 15 pain scale with sciatica, wishing that I was in bed right now, having my wife yelling at me, telling me to go back to bed. Lynn Davidson, am I obligated to the court? Well, I'm obligated as an officer of the court to act in a fashion that reflects proper decorum. Like, I couldn't cuss and swear and do all those things, but I'm not beholden to the court, and that's a difference. But we can have that conversation in another show. Just don't believe all this stuff about the bar, British accreditation registry. All that stuff is BS. The bottom line is there's a lot of guys like me who've been abused by the system who became lawyers because we were disenfranchised and we wanted to make a difference. So don't put us all in the same box. Anyways, let's keep listening to Lane. I like what he's got to say.
contract for a celebrity boxing match. Email it to my email right there. Name the time, place, and manner. Jake Paul, Celebrity Boxing. Judges should use their judicial authority to protect victims and witnesses from harassment. What about protecting defendants from being railroaded? So the last quote this guy gives is judges should use their judicial authority to protect victims and witnesses from harassment, threats, intimidation, and harm, right? He doesn't say that the most important thing judges do is to make sure that defendants have a public, open trial and receive fair due process. Matt Walker thinks that victims and witnesses are more important than defendants. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard, Matt. Nobody has more rights than a defendant. A victim and a witness do not have more rights than a defendant. A victim and a witness aren't going to go to jail, okay?
He's
Matt,
right.
you're a sack of shit. And I don't even know how you have a wife. I cannot believe that there was somebody willing to reproduce with Matt Walker. You mean to tell me that Matt Walker has children that he could be possibly brainwashing with this same level of absolute lack of self-awareness and stupidity. I cannot believe this. The contents of the proposed rule amendment. Matt Walker wants to make it so that it goes from what I was doing to you got to have the judge approve it. Look at this shit. Here was rule 122H and I was found. So Matt Walker wants he wants to get rid of everything that's crossed out. Okay. And he wants it to say, Matt, you're a sack of shit. So now he wants that to be the rule. Oh, wait, forgot this part too. This is the key part right here. Matt, we're not that dumb. A person may use an audio recorder during a proceeding, but the person must submit a request pursuant to paragraph C to what? Why would he suddenly need to have a C and a hearing and all that shit? A person may not disseminate their personal audio recording of a proceeding to the public without the permission of the court. What? What? What the fuck are we reading? Matt Walker wants a kangaroo judge that you have to file a request to the kangaroo judge to personally audio record just audio. So let's put this into practice. Let's use one of my cases for an example. So Matt Walker wanted me to have to put a request into the judge, and then if the judge allows me to, then I would need to put in another request to ask the judge if I was allowed to post it on YouTube. A hearing involving me, when I could just say, fuck this audio recorder, right? So does the court have to request permission from me to record the audio now? And do I have to ask the court? Does the court have to ask me permission to allow people to do a public record request in my hearing, right? So a person may not, but the court can for $18 every time. Matt Walker, I don't think you understand how you should not have had children, and you shouldn't be allowed anywhere near a court of law ever again in your life, man. As an attorney, Matt, you shouldn't even be allowed around sharp objects. So Matt Walker wants to change it to you got to give a fucking week in advance, all that shit, and change. Listen, he wants to change it from notice to request. Of course, it's been working fine for 20 years, and the Supreme Court said this is fine. But now he wants the fucking public to ask permission from the court to post a public record on their own YouTube channel. What? What? So does that mean the news has to get permission from me to put up my shit on the news?
Exactly.
What? Matthew Walker, resign your position. Shannon Walker, resign your position. Y'all need to start looking for somewhere else to live. You can't live in this community. You can't take public money. You've not earned the public trust. You've broken the public trust. You've created mass fucking chaos for your coworkers and your court family and your friends and all these. Matt Walker, if you weren't such a fucking corrupt, crooked, criminal piece of shit, okay, Matt Walker, your wife would have never got any calls, would she? Your wife wouldn't have got no emails, would she, Matt Walker, if you would have did the right thing, huh? Your wife has nobody to blame but you, Matt Walker. You threw your own wife under the bus, and you continue to do so, Matt. Matt, you unlawfully charged me. If there's no unlawful charges, there's no videos about you, Matt. There's no nothing, Matt. The world doesn't know who Matt Walker is, except Matt Walker did the right thing and dismissed the charges like he's supposed to. Matt, you're a fucking parasite to the taxpayers and the legal system. You're giving all lawyers a bad name, Matt. You're literally inflaming the rhetoric that the courts are crooked, and it's a kangaroo court and the prosecutors are crooked. Matt, how can you look anybody in the face and say you're ethical ever again? You can't. You're an unethical sack of shit. Matt, there's no lawyer in America is going to look at this and think you're doing the right thing. They're going to think you're carrying out your personal agenda against Lane Myers because all he did was follow the rules and not break the law, and you couldn't get away with fucking railroading me, Matt. The whole world knows this is nothing more than you not being able to get away with railroading me.
Well, hold on a minute.
Do you understand, Matt Walker?
Just keep in mind, guys, that most judges, at least in California, are former prosecutors. So I don't know what the makeup is on the Supreme Court for Arizona, but if I was licensed to practice law right now in Arizona, I would step in and try to help out with some kind of an amicus brief. I know that Lane is super smart. He's a brilliant guy, but like there's some procedural things that perhaps I might be able to help with, like written objections to evidence, aka there is no evidence. Like almost everything that I've seen in the prosecutor's brief, based on the standards that would be in California or Texas, would not be admissible as evidence. But absent an objection, my understanding is most courts would accept that as true. So, and then, Sandy, I saw your comments. So just keep in mind, Sandy, I love doing my YouTube channel, but the reason why I started doing this channel is because my buddy got locked up and I helped him with his channel and stuff. And then people kind of liked me and they asked me to keep coming on. And yeah, it would be nice to do this full time and make a living from it. But most of my audience aren't rich. They can't afford, super chats and paying for memberships and all that stuff. I just do it because I want to help out. Because I used to be broke when I was studying to be a lawyer. I slept on park benches. So you know what I mean? So for me, it's more like a spiritual thing. I feel obligated to help less fortunate people. So that's kind of why I do it. But I'm with you, Sandy. If there's any way that you have ideas, I'm trying to find some lawyers in Arizona who will help in the Marine Corps community. But it's not easy because I've been bedridden the last couple of days because I have a bad back injury. My L4 and my L5 are crushing my sciatic nerve. And I've never had anything like this happen to me in my life. Anyways, guys, but if you have ideas, Sandy, or someone who wants to help me, I have no problem helping promote Reluctant Prophet, Mr. Gold, and in Lane in any way that I can within my means to make this happen. But yeah, that's right, OTVO. No bootlickers. You guys are great. Anyways, if you guys have ideas, I have like the michaeleline.com website, which is my personal blog. I'm more than happy to do press releases or anything like that for you guys. The elinelaw.com website it's a business, so that's how I support my family. And I have other partners and stuff involved in that. So again, my opinions and the things that I do here don't reflect anything that my people at my firm believe in any way, shape, or form. I do this mainly because I feel obligated to try to help other people who are less fortunate than me, who maybe don't have the high IQ, don't have the acumen that a guy like Lane has. But I see that Lane's on the ball, like he gets it, and that I'd like to be able to help him any way that I can. Oh yeah, you could. Well, I could sign a copy of my book for you, OTV, on No Bootlicker. The problem is it's digital. So I almost forgot. If you want to get a copy of my ebook, it's my journey or my journey to becoming a practicing lawyer with no law degree or undergrad, but this is a prototype. This isn't the real one. My ebook is $19.99, and it's on my it's on my. If you go to my YouTube channel and you click the description, it's a PayPal link, and then Life Under can tell you how to also get copies another way. I know, Lane, I know you sent me like 20, but not Lane, shit, Life Under. Life Under, I know you sent me like $20 a couple weeks ago. I apologize for not thanking you. I appreciate that, bro. It's mainly for my wife, because she hates it that I'm sitting here doing these shows. And if I was to work on a couple of cases, that could cover like the rent. But then if I don't do this, then I don't psychologically feel like I am giving back to my people, which is patriots. So that's kind of where I'm at. But guys, I'm going to have to take a break and get some rest. But hopefully you guys had a good show. Please make sure to always like and subscribe, and make sure to save for later viewing, especially my guys who are truckers, long haul truckers who like to get good stuff, and make sure to save that stuff. And thanks, Brandy. I appreciate that, ma'am. Thanks, Sandy. Thanks, Lynn. And Lynn, no. I saw some of the comments earlier. Lynn, I know who you are as a person. Thank you, Grateful Dabs. Grateful Dabs, I made $9.99 today. Thanks, homie. And by the way, dude, I know that $9 or $10 that you just sent me could be $100 to you. Like when I was sleeping on park benches trying to become a lawyer, I didn't have any money. Like if I had given someone $1, that would have been $1,000 to me. So I don't have any issues. I mean, I'm happy. I'm stoked. Like if every one of my guys gave me $1, like I got 100 people in here right now. If every one of you guys gave me $1, that would be $100. If every one of you guys gave me $10, that'd be $1,000. That would be enough to cover my phone bill and some other stuff, and my wife would be happy. But I don't ever I'm not a beggar. My dad always told me a man is worthy of his hire, and people will just figure out what you're worth on their own accord. And so that's how I run my show. But yeah, it's a donations only channel. But my book took me a couple of years to read. And at least if you bought that, I would consider it a donation, and you could use it to try to improve your life. Because, you should always be trying to better yourselves and trying to become a better person, and always help your neighbor. Love your neighbor as you love yourself is a very important thing. And don't hate people just because they don't agree with you politically. A lot of people on my show don't like Trump. A lot of people on my show hate Biden, which I can't stand. The guy, I think he's a piece of shit. But we're all here together because we believe that our rights come from an all-powerful creator. And I know somebody said that Lane doesn't believe in God earlier. And that's fine, Copser 5150 and Lynn. But I didn't say anything about God. I said creator, that our rights come from an all-powerful creator, from the universe. And that means they didn't come from man. That's the most important thing you need to understand about me. Our rights didn't come from the state. Our rights didn't come from the government. Our rights came from the creator. The creator. Read the Declaration. That's where our rights come from. And I'll let you guys figure it out for yourselves from there. But thanks, Gloria. Thanks. Let me thank everybody for showing up on this boring Sunday. Thanks, Gloria and Lynn and Sandy. I like Jordan. Sandy, I really like Jordan, and I really like that carnivore diet. I bought a bunch of bison meat today. So Lynn Davidson, Copser 5150, Semper Fi, brother. And by the way, Copser 5150, watch the very beginning of my video. I covered the military parade, the honor guard, for like the first 11 minutes of it. It's freaking outstanding. If you want to get motivated, watch that. You won't see Sleepy Joe, the World Economic Forum puppet, stumbling all over himself. At least you'll see somebody who respects our military. And honey is good. Yes, you're right, Sandy. So anyways, thank you, Brandy, Life Under the Microscope, for always supporting my channel and trying to tell people to buy my ebook. I love that. OTVO, no bootlicker. I love you, brother or sister, whoever you are. Every Osgood, thank you, man. I'm open too, man. This has been rough. Auditing Tyranny, thanks for showing. Brett Ray, as always, thank you for supporting my channel, big time. Yeah, so Brett, I'm actually in the process of upgrading my disability with the VA. My big fear is they're going to try to make me unemployable, like 100% unemployable, and there's no way like I could feed my family off $4 or $5 grand a month unemployable. If they do that, I would have to give up what I am getting now as a 70%. And what I'm getting as a 70% is covering my SBA loan that I had to get to support my family because Newsom shut down the economy and made it impossible for me to support my family. So now I had to borrow money from these assholes in order to keep the money coming in. And basically I'm using my disability from the veterans to pay back that loan. So it's not easy, guys. The problem with having your own business, you know. You're right, Christopher Garza. Thank you, Zongwei 3.0. We do need tort reform. We need tort reform in the nature of getting rid of laws that restrict the ability of the common man to sue the state. That's real tort reform. Mias Taro, thank you. Let me see here. Well, anyways, guys, I'm going to pass out here, but I appreciate everybody. I'm going to get some lidocaine for my back. Brett and Mr. Gold, I appreciate you showing up, brother. Thank you. All you guys are awesome. Thanks for the super chats and the book purchases. It means a lot to me. With that being said, make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to save because we never know when the thought police are going to take down this channel. Semper Fi, do or die.